Every child in Valorant has heard the tale before about the cursed mummy boy who felt his heart no more. So sad and lorn, the helpless lad, Amumu was his name. He ventured out to find a friend and learn about his bane. For many years, young Amumu traveled through the lands, determined to make friends if only they would understand. But even when Amumu stood upon the ledge of home, his hope would disappoint him and he would remain alone. But then the curse began to whisper in his ear. It would confirm what was Amumu's biggest fear. It pledged that never shall someone become his friend. It pledged that he shall be alone until his end. Sorrow and despair became too much to bear.
Welcome everyone to the Casual Esports Amateur League. We have another finals match coming at you for tonight. Now this is going to be on tape delay. So this is the AMO coming at you with my buddy TTU Phoenix. Hey man, you ready for this action?
I am. We are all self-isolating, so what better to do than to watch a Demacia League final? This matchup between Aggressive Enchanters and Mundolicious was the first game I ever casted, so I'm really excited to see them meet back up in the finals and play out a best of 5.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this action to go in as well. So just to let our viewers know, we do not have the necessarily picks and bans, but we do have the lineups, so we can just I'm just going to sort of touch base on the lineups here for the teams on the side of Aggressive Enchanters. They have Time Burglar on the top lane, on the Maokai, Lightning 13 on the Nunu. Let's see here, Stud Nugget. Oh my gosh,
Stud Nugget.
I'm sorry, buddy. Stud Nugget on the Vigor mid lane. Vigar, it's Vigar. The guy got corrected on that after my 18 freaking solo casts in semifinals. Greedy on the 80 carry Misfortune, and Autumn Gamer on these little cat Yumi.
And on Mundolicious side, we have Stevo 7600 in top on the Gnar. AJTL 33 will be jungling with Amumu. Kazoo on Vladimir in mid. Oyapolina on the Zaya ADC, and then Hyares on the Thresh support.
Yeah, so as we kind of broke down the teams, anything you're looking forward to since you remember casting their match a little while back?
Yes. So in the, I'm trying to remember, I believe Mundolicious won the first matchup. The first time they played pretty handily, but when I cast Aggressive Enchanters a week later, I had a chance to interview them because they won that 2-0. and they talk about how they've gone and put a lot of effort into cleaning up their comms, improving their shot calling, and I think their season after that was very strong. So I think that while they may have had a slower start, they, I think, caught up to where Mundolicious is. And looking at the team comps, I think that, I mean, both, there's huge team fighting, lots and lots of AoE damage on both sides. To me, this feels like a very mid lane centric game, because you have two really strong late game parrying mages, both of whom can completely swing a team fight. Veigar by just obliterating a priority target, Vladimir by diving into the back line and doing massive damage while being untargetable. And so I think that the team's ability to get their mid laner ahead and then engineer team fights in a way that favors their mid laner is going to do a lot to decide who wins the game.
So I think we're going to get into the game. Shadow, if you want to transition us over to the play. Should just slip right on over to some action. Okay, so we have the lineups coming out here, and as we did kind of run down the teams, as you can see, which lane do you want to watch first, Phoenix? I mean, we're both top laners. We're going to watch freaking Maokai and Gnar all day long, but not all the rest of the viewers are going to want to watch that matchup.
The thing looks like it might be grouping for an invade here. Yumi's not attached to someone. She could be cut out, but jumps on him, misfortune. I think the top lane, it's going to be kind of a pain for Maokai. Gnar's really good into tanks. He has percent HP magic damage, a lot of very physical damage, usually itemizes into cleaver. I think bot lane is probably the lane where there's the most potential for early action. Both of the mid laners are probably going to be wanting to be farming, but you've got a Thresh, that's a pretty aggressive pick, and Misfortune is a strong laner. And both bot lanes do have Ignite, Yumi not taking the flash, running the heal Ignite, and Barrier on the Misfortune. So there's definitely 2v2 kill potential on both sides.
Yeah. Any leash, I mean, Amumu versus the Nunu, that's going to get me mixed up a whole bunch of times going into this matchup, I know for sure. The early aggression from Nunu really going to keep Amumu down?
Nunu's early clear is a lot better and a lot healthier than Amumu's. Amumu is starting Wolves, which can be done leashless. I believe when I jungle, I usually start a buff, but I think that most junglers can do Wolves without a leash. It looks like he's going to go for blue afterwards. But Nunu looks like he's going for the red buff invade, which I think makes sense. You know that Amumu is going to start on blue side. He really needs the blue buff for his clear. He's very mana hungry. And so you can feel comfortable knowing that you can take most of his red side jungle, and he just won't be up there. Looks like he's taking the Raptors at this point.
Yeah, and that means he's going to, get... Maybe we'll see if he gets 3 buffed or if we have the vertical jungling coming out aspect. So, seeing as this particular division get different highlights, it sounds like a couple of maths. What are some kind of like key team aspects? Some divisions are really team fight centric. Some divisions are really let's split pushing heavy or something like that. Does this division have a style that you recognize?
Though from the games I've cast in Demacia division, the thing that I think has stood out to me most is the power that junglers have. I know AJT, I've seen him do very well in a lot of games, but jungler's ability to control lanes and control the game's tempo is really pronounced. And when you have a case where one jungler is really out jungling the other, it can be very hard for the team whose jungler is behind to either catch up or the snowball didn't go off quite right for the gang in top lane.
Steve-O's going to be able to slam down and hop his way out of there.
Looks like Nunu is also doing the is also doing the vertical jungling, so he actually won't fall very far behind here at all. Veigar and go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So, like the aspect of the jungler that's going to get off the most impact early on is going to create a pressure to accelerate their team's strengths, right?
Mm-hmm.
By putting the Nunu doing the second gank, I don't know if you want to call it drive-by in mid lane, a gank, looking for the next scuttle crab, while Amumu is backing in enemy territory. Necessary, like,
The cat burglar escapes in the night.
someone's gonna have to get off the pretty quickly here, right?
Yeah. I think depending on, I feel like Amumu's gank potential is going to be pretty lane dependent. It's going to be hard to gank the Veigar unless Veigar's already burned Cage, because the Cage will stop Amumu's bandage toss. He can gank Gnar if Maokai's in range to... Sorry, he can gank for Gnar when Gnar has Megaform available. I think Nunu's going to have a hard time ganking top or mid, because it'd be very easy for Gnar to hop away if Maokai's not in range to W him, and they don't time it well to make sure that he can't get the hop away. And Veigar and Vladimir's just going to fool. He's just going to sink down into a little puddle and walk away.
So, if the junglers can't have the early impact that they're looking for, do you think that favors one team over another?
I think that probably favors aggressive Enchanters, just because an unchecked Veigar is more dangerous than maybe anything else in the game, except for perhaps an unchecked Nasus, especially with the incoming buffs that will make him gigantic. Oh, first blood goes down in the top lane.
That was an excellent 1v1 top lane for both of the laners, and it looks like Stevo got the better of that one as the junglers find each other here, and Lightning's able to run on his way on out. Just too many minions for Time Burglar to deal with in that top lane when they're going at each other up there.
And it's not just the healing, but just the raw AD that you do get out of a fully stacked Conqueror can really sway fight. And it's not very visible. You hear the ching when they fully stack the Conqueror, but you don't, unless you're watching, you often don't see their AD decrease. And so you can be like, whoa, I did not expect that auto to hurt that much. One thing I would note is jungler itemization. Amumu backed and didn't have his Bambi Cinder. Hyari's a little cut out here, but he'll walk away. And on a tank jungler, not being able to get the Cinder on the first back, it definitely hurts, because you really depend on the AoE burn and the new Fire Nova effect from the most recent patch to speed up your clear. And so he's not going to have that. Nunu has chosen to go for his Blue Smite instead of the Cinder, which is a little cheaper. It allowed him to get the boots as well. And Nunu's clear is pretty good, so he doesn't quite need the Cinder as well.
The boots also in the blue just prove that he does want to be ganking, right, rather than dealing damage to the minions. As we just see the junglers and a teleport coming down here to the bot lane, and it looks like Nunu Snowball is just going to ram some minions into the ground as the Veigar is going to just run back to mid lane. We're going to Kazu in the mid. The top laner is going to duke it back out again. This is something that Nunu can do super early, though, with that teleport and control in the bot lane. Go for that early jungle. And by jungle, I mean dragon.
Yeah, he has control here. Amumu isn't level 6 yet, so his ability to really interrupt is limited. Veigar and Hyari's had to back to avoid dying. The heal was burned from Oya Polina, so they just didn't have the presence. And an early water drag, it doesn't feel quite as good since it no longer gives mana, but it's still a really potent, particularly because it works in combat. It just makes your lanes much harder to kill.
And that's what it's going to be about. So while this is a replay, I don't know if it's going to let us keep track of stackity stacks, yakety yaks. Don't come back, Jack, something, right? We'll see if we can get infinite AP on the Veigar's abilities coming on out as the CSing coming back and forth, as we have like about a 1K gold league. It does, 33. Thank you very much. There, Shadow, the 1K gold lead in favor Oh, hooked by Thresh. There's the ultimate from Vladimir. It's going to go, and Vigor's going to pop the cage. To see this be enough. Burst damage comes out with the ult from comes out.
Ooh, trades it back.
Excellent job here in the mid lane as we're going to have the CC train try and get in onto the baby dinosaur. I don't think that's going to be enough as he gets pushed in under tower.
No, and that's what I was mentioning earlier, where the timing is so important because you're going to max root second on Maokai. So at this point, it should only be a 1 second root, maybe 1.1. And Gnar, you know, as soon as you root him, he's going to be looking to hop away. So unless Nunu hits him with the snowball into the snowball fight route during that 1 second, it's going to be very hard for them to keep the CC chain on Gnar long enough.
Yeah, plus he can jump away as we see Boots coming out as well for a lot of champions. And we have the Rift Heralds coming up here at, 9.5 minutes is a really nice time to pick up the first Shelly of the game, try and get some of those gold plates down. Is there a particular lane you'd want to see the aggressive Enchanters take Shelly?
I would I put it into one of the side lanes, either top or bot, because you don't want Veigar to have the freedom to farm, but Vlad also wants to farm. So leaving the 2 mid towers up for laners who don't really want to rotate, they just kind of want to sit there and get their CS, is fine. Whereas if you can end the lane early in favor of Gnar, Gnar can really start split pushing, and Maokai won't have a chance to really catch up. Because Gnar he's got a almost 20 CS lead. He's very much in control of the top lane. Or in the bot lane, just because your bot lane's been kind of pressured by the pure poke.
There's a lot of damage going in top of us. Looks like with the Nunu gank down in the bot lane. The Misfortune ult on top of the Yuumi ult. So strong, taking down the Thresh of Hyaris. It looks like now they're going to use the speed up to try and get into the mid lane. Not fast enough, though, as Vladimir's going to pull himself away out. And tower plates going on for the top lane as Theinberger was able to just escape the gank from the Mumu. But here comes Shelly, and they've gotten 2 plates down. Can they knock them all? And she'd go on first tower, going over to the Gnar and Mumu.
That says that AJT has watched the LEC How to Best Use Rift Herald video, because towers gain more resists as you take out plates, but Shelly does true damage to towers. So it doesn't matter how many plates have gone down, how much resist the tower has. Shelly will always do about 2 plates worth of damage. So if you're going to try to take a tower and you have Herald, you want to get a plate or 2 first, and then summon the Herald. Because then the Herald will still get multiple plates, whereas if you summon it early, the Herald will take out the 2 plates, it'll have a bunch of resists, and you may not be able to get more plates, because it's going to be resisting all of your damage. I actually don't know if there's any champions who have the ability to true damage to towers, because Red Buff used to apply to towers, but it doesn't anymore.
I mean, Nasus eventually.
Yeah, I suppose theoretically a champion with enough pen could be. Yeah. You're right. From our stream host, Gangplank's Burn Trial by Fire does do true damage to towers.
There we go. So, well, that is minuscule. Let's just sort of touch back on here now that 1 tower is down and the lanes are pretty much about. They're starting to level out as we see first items picked up for the Gnar, the Black Cleaver. First one to his items here. Is that going to make a huge difference? He does have teleport for the dragon fight that's going to be happening here in the next 1 to 10 seconds as Mumu's getting involved. Maokai's walked down. It looks like they're going to go straight in. And there's a nice Thresh hook onto the Amumu. And there's the 1 cage coming out. And there's the Maokai ult coming out. Misfortune ult layered on top as well. The Yuumi, so much CC lockdown damage into the full time, absolutely shredding through the 1 team. And now Gnar and Vladimir's time to come in, return the damage. But that's not enough damage or CC to lock anyone down. Vladimir falls down to Misfortune. And Maokai drops as well as 1 falls for the ace over the side for aggressive Enchanters. Oh my gosh, Phoenix. Look, I mean, the Maokai ult into the Yuumi ult, that is just like Misfortune. It's literally shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, it was a tremendous CC combo out of aggressive Enchanters. And it started with, I think, a good play from Lightning. He sees the Xayah, she's isolated, he starts up the snowball, and he's looking either to get the kill or at least to force her ultimate, because without her ult, Xayah has to be a lot safer in the fight. But he gets hooked, so he can't finish the CC chain. He is then locked up, and with him down, the front line of Mundolicious is too slow to get to the fight. Hayares has been pressured. He isn't very tanky at this point. And, with him down, yeah, Maokai is still pretty squishy, but he gets his CC off, and that's all that matters. In that, he goes down, he gets shredded by the Gnar, but he locks the Gnar up enough to get the bounty, and as you mentioned, the Yumiel holds everyone in place, Misfortune gets tons of damage. Vladimir hasn't hit the point where he can just waltz into the back line and explode them all. He gets a good dive and gets a lot of healing out of his ultimate, but he's then forced to run away, and Veigar isn't really touched because Gnar never manages to quite get on him in that fight. So he's just doing damage. Misfortune's already blown up 2 people with her ult and Yumi ult.
And this is what they're going to have to do, right? Gnar just going to have to take into the one lane solo. Can he finish off the Maokai? Doesn't look like it. But
with the other longsword, I'm guessing he's going for Frozen Mallet. And once he gets that, it will be incredibly dangerous for Maokai to exist anywhere near him that's not under a tower, because he'll just get run down. Oh.
And the Yumi ult goes the wrong way without the bull time, and as a result, that's going to be a dead Misfortune.
You're going to try to run down the Yumi. She's got the zoomies. She might be able to escape. She does. Oh, Veigar gets caught.
It looks like they're going to be pulled in here. They're just going to be flashing back and forth as the Mumu goes in deep to get to Veigar. But
he's going to trade his life for it.
Yeah. Gnar tries to throw the boomerang over. Not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
They just laying everything down. Yumi, no one to jump to, can't really do a whole lot.
No, and she can't even get the remote control.
Though. Maokai's teleporting in here. Let's see, does have flash and
elects not to go for it. Because if he W'd that, he probably would have died if he used the Twisted Advantage to follow, because he would have followed the Lantern under tower, Thresh would have hooked him or flayed him in, and he probably would have gotten locked up long enough to die. He doesn't have his Sunfire yet, and so he's he's not really that tanky at this point. I'd like to point out that I correctly predicted that one of Gnar or Amumu would be building Ninja Tabi. It is Gnar. I would have liked to see the Merc Treads here. You're up against Nunu, Veigar, Maokai, lots of magic damage, lots of CC. And even Misfortune is more ability-based than auto-attacker, even though she is building towards the crit build. So I don't think, even though she's 4-1, I don't think Ninja Tabi is really going to do as much for you here as Merc Treads would.
No, and it looks like we're going to have some CC laying down, and Thresh is going to put him with the full time, just lands on the one as the Moon was trying to dodge everything up, but it's going to hit by the snowball and the Maokai ult as the cats come meowing on through, and that means it's going to be Shelly number 2 going over to aggressive Enchanters.
Yeah, he can't get to the Lantern in time. He's just CC chained too long. He's going to pick it up. Nunu picks it up. They could probably use this to break mid lane open. And it looks like that's what they want to do. Yep, they want to go for the mid tower. I think that's a good call with a Mumu down and Gnar in top lane. You have a lot of the teamfight initiation not being there. Vlad split pushing bot lane, so you can get a second charge here and try to go for the towers. Shelly gets the second charge off.
There we go. And it looks
good
like
Veigar cage.
Cages are coming out, and that's one dropping, and then that tower Gnar's not going to be able to go mega as Nunu is going to pull off a full channel here, but it looks like Maokai with the Q is going to take out the another little baby dinosaur Yordle as they're going to push in at 18.5 minutes of the first inhib. Vladimir's not even going to get the tier 2 in bot lane.
No, and this is one of the power of the Veigar cage, because the only people who can actually get out of the Veigar cage are Xayah, if she has ult available, and Vladimir. Everyone else, if you don't have flash, you're not getting out of it. And it's such a powerful zoning tool, especially with the 20% CDR he's already gotten from the Frost Cannon. If you listen to LEC, you'll learn that it is either the Frozen Hose or the Super Soaker. And so once he throws it down on the tower, everyone in that cage was basically dead because they don't have a way to get out of it without flash, and they're just trapped in the zone for the big AoE.
Yeah, and I'm really liking this AoE team comp, right? Like, Nunu just runs past everyone and puts up a second zone of control. The Maokai has the zone of control, right? And the Misfortune, it just gets to lay everything down for free, right? Because it takes too long for the other team to actually hard engage. They can't get, as a result, they can't get their Gnar in the split push, right? Like, that's what they want to do, but they've now an open inhib in mid lane.
The other issue is that this is always, and admittedly both teams are somewhat lacking this, but when one team has a really strong carry, it's often important to draft some kind of backline access. This can be a diver or assassin. Oh, Gnar's caught out.
He
should be good. Yeah, he should.
Maybe.
Or
not. There's
a
lot of slows.
Oh, there's the hop.
Boomerang. There's just so many. So Thresh here, Mumu, they're going to go right
back. Oh, Misfortune gets caught.
Misfortune, and that's not going to be much. She is going to drop the health, and it's not going to be. Nunu is just stuck by himself right now, pedaling out the full channel. Beaver's able to take down the Thresh. He's going to try and run away, but there's the slows coming up, and
Mumu goes back in.
Jump, actually, is going to die mid-air. We have the little cat on a book, but she's got no one to jump to, nowhere to go. Can you be caught? And she drops down as we have the two laners here in the bot finding information that goes to another tower. So that's an actual win there for Mundolicious.
And that's the case. I was talking about how they didn't really have backline access, and I was going to say was they're basically dependent on a Mega Gnar or an Amumu coming from an unwarded bush or over a wall, and that's what they got there. Aggressive Enchanters chase a little too far because they see Gnar, they see that he's caught out, and they don't realize the Amumu's there. He hits Misfortune with the bandage toss, and then the follow-up CC is there. They lose a couple people to the Veigar, who does now have a death cap completed, but they do take a good fight. Unfortunately, they don't really get chopped. They don't get the stuff after the stuff. Gnar's still, let's see, looking at imitation. Gnar's still working on Frozen Mallet. He should be pretty close, I would expect. Amumu has his Gargoyle Stoneplate, so he's going to be real tanky. Right. Vlad's going to pull out.
Flashing out. So they're trying to flash and Chetch. Nope. Escape from the Blood Man. Is they're going to clear out some more. So we got 2.5 minutes here to the next dragon, and that's going to be the fourth dragon and second infernal over for aggressive enchanters. There's a clock on the side of Mundolicious, right? Like they're gonna have to be playing this.
Yeah, a Veigar who already has death cap with infernal soul. He just gets to make one person not exist of his choice. Probably more than one person if he gets a good cage. And so we've got Merc Treads on the side of Xayah. It might even be too late for a Hex Drinker, but QSS might be enough if she can QSS the cage. They're trying to pinch Aggressive Enchanters at Baron here, but Gnar's about to... Gnar just timed out.
That's what I was going to go. Gnar's going to time out. Now it's going to be super hard to try and outsmite.
They hooked the Veigar.
They're going to go right in. It looks like bullet time, though, is going to absolutely shred through them as Nuna's going to challenge them up. Vladimir's going to teleport in on the back as we have a flash out by Misfortune. She's trying to get away from all the damage that happened, but Mumu's going to get in for yet another bandage toss as they're going to drop down. Yordle Xayah hasn't been touched in the background. Is going to be able to jump in and finish off the Cat Lady. The flank coming out on the side of Mundolicious was just excellent in that team fight there.
And that was all on a really good hook by Hyrax. He threads the needle and manages to catch Veigar, which is huge, because Veigar then dies in the CC. And now the Fed mid laner due to a Fed mid laner on Mundolicious' side, the Vladimir is free to come in and get all of his damage across. He's never really taking enough damage to be threatened in that fight. Potentially going to be locked onto tower. He should be able to escape here, though. Yeah, he walks away.
Okay, so I mean, do you think that was pretty aggressive? I know that they were in the winning position to be considered to be going after the Baron at that point, but shouldn't they just like maybe held it off, wait for this next 30 seconds and gone for the dragon, which would have been more impactful, or do you think that they really push in for that to accelerate their win condition as soon as possible?
I don't think it was a terrible play for a couple of reasons. One, Dragon wasn't up soon enough that you felt like you were going to be trading, and they could even afford to trade because since they have 3 drags, they can afford to give up a single Infernal to Mundolicious, and if they get a Baron for, excuse me, that's an excellent trade. I would note that there is a QSS on Xayah, I like that. But they had a level advantage on Nunu over the Amumu, which they still do, 12 to 11, and Nunu has Consume. Assuming that that Nunu is not CC chained or dead, they shouldn't lose an objective. Because between Smite and Consume, he should be able to take it down from about 13 to 1500 health, and Numu's just not going to be able to outsmite that. And they don't have something like a Cho'Gath that you can't beat. And so, as long as Nunu doesn't die, and he's pretty tanky, he's got the Spirit Visage and the Cinder Hulk, they should have been able to get Baron even if it wasn't. It's just that they lost the Veigar because he got hooked. And I think Veigar needed to play farther back, and they probably needed better ward coverage over the wall to know where the initiators of Thresh.
Well, Thresh is going in, and we're going to have double box laid on top of each other, and there comes the Maokai ult going to poke the damage, and we're going to have the double jungle circles coming in. Misfortune ult's going to have to be popped early, and she's going to try and run away from that. But now Gnar's going to come over the back of the wall. He's going to
huge Gnar ult.
It looks like Vladimir Pool's going to go out as no one's gone onto the Xayah. Is going to pop the QSS, and she's going to run back up to the top lane. Vladimir just doing absolute damage in the back line. And the only people going to escape are the Nunu and the Yuumi. Nunu's carrying 2 people out on his back. I guess technically, I don't know.
Willup, yeah.
Willup is carrying Nunu and Yuumi all the way home here. As just the Gnar and the Vladimir flanking around the red buff is the pit, right? Like it's Nunu stole it.
That's the thing. All he has to do is jump in and hit Consume, and he's out. There's Mumu's dead, so there's no smite. With the zoomies, he's probably out here.
He's out.
Tokyo drifts his way.
In and out. Oh, lightning.
Tap Burglar escapes in the night.
Oh my gosh! Except for that, it's lightning, right? He was in and out, just like his name. Just boom. And
that's huge. That's the Infernal Soul. Like, Mundolicious could have stalled the game for 4 to 5 more minutes if they did by taking that Infernal Drag, because by denying aggressive Enchanters the soul, they denied them that win condition, they denied them the team fight power that would let them set up for Baron. But him securing it there, like, that's easily worth the flash. And now they can wait 5 minutes for Elder and hope they steal Elder against a Nunu, which is very difficult. Or they can take a bad fighter on Baron. There aren't really good choices from Mundolicious.
Yeah, especially if they're going to get in onto this Amumu, and it looks like they're going to finish that off Yordle real quick. I think we've learned something is the team that sets up the aggression and controls the beginning of the team fight with getting their pick with their CC seems to be the team doing the better job.
Mm-hmm. And I think, like, you've got 7 deaths on the Amumu, 4 deaths on the Maokai, 6 deaths on the Thresh, but I don't think those numbers actually matter, because from Thresh or Maokai or Amumu's perspective, if you get the carry, and the carry dies in your CC chain, it doesn't matter if you live. Maokai doesn't need to live if he can W the Xayah and she goes down. Amumu doesn't need to live if he can take out the Veigar. And so I think the carries on the side of both teams have to play really careful, because all the initiation on the other team is basically gunning for them, and they're not really...
We're going to hook it up, and the Thresh does land onto the Veigars. They're going to continue fighting the Baron. It looks like Steve and the Gnar is going to be able to jump over the fuck, and that's going to be over to Nunu as Yumi's going to pop off that as Thresh cage is going to come out. That's not going to matter. And teleport into the Veigar cage means Vladimir's going to absolutely explode as soon as this one comes up. And then there's the little kitties going roaming, and this Mimu's going to try and get it. And there's the Bandage House coming up, and it looks like they're going to finish up. Both times going to flash in as we have another snare jumping in. And Greed's going to kill on that one. Gnar over the wall finally jumps in, and it's going to 3 people into it. And it's not going to happen. Xayah's the one trying to lay out enough damage on the side. And they're going to go back in onto the Mumu. It looks like Xayah's got to throw out the ulti. Can she pull back the feathers? They get another kill. Cannot. So that's 3 people walking away for aggressive Enchanters with the Baron buff. And the Infernal Soul, and they were able to keep their inhibitor bot tower alive because they forced Vladimir to teleport in.
I wonder if it might have been better there for him to not teleport, because the Baron's already down. Hyares has gone in, but I mean, it's a Thresh with Executioner's Calling, a Crystalline Bracer, Bammy Cinder, and Night's Vow. He's not that tanky. He's only got, I think, 400, 280. He's got maybe 900 bonus health. So he's probably... I don't like the Executioner's Calling, because I think that's what you were going to highlight there.
Sorry, I was about to... I fully understand the reasoning behind it. Because you need the heal, but I mean, you already have Ignite as the support. Like, that's your donation.
I am not generally... I agree, because I play a lot of healing champs in the top lane. Alawi, Mordekaiser, Maokai. I'm used to people rushing anti-heal against me, but I don't like the Executioners on tanky champs. Oop. Vlad's going for it.
Yeah, Vlad's going to win this.
Yeah. Gets all his combo off. He's got the Void Staff and the Morello. I'd like to see him try to get a Death Cap as soon as he can. That would really let him look to one-shot the back line, but he wins the 1v1.
Yeah, and particularly because that was one of the champions that had Baron, so that's another Baron off the map. As it looks like Nunu is going to get in onto the Thresh. Gnar in a baby form here as we have a Banish Toss coming over. It looks like it's getting in onto the Maokais. We have the tanks throwing up. Misfortune and the Cat trying to come over the wall. There's the tank coming out. There's Yumi Ulk, and it looks like us on the one. Misfortune comes on, does head through, and it looks like we're going to have the Xayah thrown in. The Feathers are pulling it back. Gets the Sun onto, and Mumu's going to go back in onto the 80 carry. That's not going to be enough. His Greedy's going to come through with one more.
Huge crit.
Close enough. We're going to fall off. The Feathers get pulled back, and whoa! There's the bullet knock. Bullet. Oh my gosh. Bouncing bullet, I don't know, ricochet.
Double up.
Double up, thank you. Get my 80 carry bouncing auto attacks going as...
Ricochet is Sivir's W.
Yeah. Vladimir was able to take tier 2 in the side lane, so the split push heavy comp works and gets some damage in, but now with the Baron here that just expired...
Oh, Hyares walking into it. He's okay. But yeah, as I mentioned, I don't care for the Executioners. I don't like it on most tanky champs because it only builds into one thing. It only builds into Mortal Reminder, and you're not going to build a Last Whisper item on Thresh. If you really want the anti-heal, I would have rather seen Bramble Vest.
Yeah, the problem is the Bramble Vest builds in the Thornmail and Nunu and Maokai and Vigor. No one's actually attacking the Thresh. He's just dying in collateral damage. So I understand it. It's to each his own at this point. Now the Executioner calling on Xayah, that's a really nice job. Right?
Yes, that's a good pickup.
Yeah, and then but we can get into it. It looks like we have multiple people getting to second items here. Well, you have the Elder Spawn, and we got little saplings, kitty cats meowing at each other. Meow, meow, meow.
Maokai is extremely good at checking bushes because he can you can throw saplings from really far away. By red buff, you can throw it to across the wall to the brush on the other side.
So whoever set up the better CC has won the last few fights. Let's see who's going to go in.
Maokai, ult down the river.
We're going to have the Maokai ult with the Nunu coming in. Vladimir's going to come in on the backside, but it looks like Yumi's going to be able to take down the first. And Gnar's going to pop into the boundary front, but zoned out by the fact that we have the Nunu. It looks like the Flash Bearer coming
trying to get the Misfortune.
Trying to get the bullet time, and she's able to get away. Vigor's actually going to take down the Vladimir before he finishes out, and there comes the Feather Cage. She's going to pull back, not in time, as Xayah Feather Lady's going to finish off 4 attacks as Mumu's going to have to run away with Gnar in the tiniest bit of health as there's just too much CC and burst damage taking out the Vladimir before he can heal back up after pooling. And Gnar missed everything as he went into Mega Form because the flash by Misfortune and Barrier.
Greedy did an excellent job with trying to cut it out. Maokai should go down here. He flashes out. Nope.
Nope. He flashed out into a Yumi and Misfortune. Nunu chasing down, and it looks like Thresh comes back from the dead just to die again. And now it's back in the Nord. It's going to throw more people into the wall. He's going to jump around. That's not going to matter because the Tree Man says you're going to be rooted this time because we're going to end the game. They have Elder Dragon. They have double Infernal, Vladimir Pool, and Ultimate's not, I don't think, going to matter, and this is going to be game
Nope.
1 going to Aggressive Enchanters.
Yeah, you got a 13-5 Misfortune. You got a Maokai who didn't... Maokai, I like to point out, ended the game with 83 CS. He had a third of Zaya's CS, and yet he also ended 7-5 and 21. And I think that, like, in a way, I feel like that's kind of the story of this game. That, like, it didn't... The Gnar should have been controlling the matchup against the Maokai, and he was in the early lane. They get the first tower with the Rift Herald, but it doesn't really matter if Maokai's down on money. He can still press W on someone. And when you're fighting in the river, Maokai's ult is conveniently right about the sides of the river. So any team that wants to do Baron, wants to do Dragon, all Maokai has to do is throw his ult down the river, and then Nunu's going to snowball in. The Yumi's probably going to be on the Nunu. She's going to activate the final chapter. So there's really no place that a Mumu, that Gnar can go that's not going to get them rooted or stunned somehow. And you've got, so your two tanks, one, Gnar, might be in mini form. He's also stacking armor and not magic resist. A Mumu he's got the Curse of the Sad Mummy, he gets his ult off, but once he does that, he only has a single target stun left. And Hyares is just exploding all the time because he's not very tanky. So they had just like a really uphill fight to make, even though their carries did really well. Like, Vlad had a good 1v1, had good split pushing. Oida Polina played tremendously, I think. But they were essentially starting every fight already CC because of how much CC aggressive brought to the field.
So, we're going to take maybe like a 1 to 2 to 5 minute break for us to try and upload game number 2 and get that all situated, ready to go. So, be back here in just a few minutes.
All right.
welcome back as we are going to go into Game 2 between Aggressive Enchanters and Mundolicious in the Demacia Best of 5 Finals, as Aggressive Enchanters took Game 1, but a little bit of, let's just say, rule breaking, and we'll leave it at that, means that they get 0 bans for Game 2, TT Phoenix. Do you think that negatively affected the pick bans?
Let me see. I think... Alright, so we got the Misfortune. I would say so, because this time Mundolicious got the Misfortune, and Aggressive Enchanters played the Misfortune very successfully in Game 1. They did win that first game. And I think that, given that they were on red side, so for those who are unfamiliar with the series, the way we do it is the higher seed team gets side choice on odd-numbered games, 1, 3, and 5, if there's a 5th game. And the lower seeded team gets side choice on even numbered games, so 2 and 4. So, given that Mundolicious would have picked blue side or Aggressive Enchanters, I believe Aggressive Enchanters was the higher seed. But in either case, knowing that they were going to be red side, they probably would have looked to ban the Misfortune if they had the option. So I think losing that definitely hurt them. Mundolicious bans the Nunu, which makes sense. That was something that Aggressive Enchanters also played to significant effect in the first game.
So it's going to be pretty impactful. Real quick, do you see anything that just like screams out at you, like, "Hey, look at this"?
I feel like Aggressive Enchanters doesn't quite have the. I know that this is weird to say when it's allowed, but doesn't quite have the team fight that they did in the first game. Because with Malzahar and Volibear, to me, that's more of a single target pick composition, where they're going to be looking to get a single target. To be honest, I'm a little unsure of who they're going to look for on Mundolicious' team, because Mundolicious has the Shen, tanky, Heimerdinger, Cassiopeia, and Misfortune, backliners that won't be in Malzahar's range unless he flashes, and Olaf, who's unstoppable. And so I think their team comp is a little weaker because they're going to need Volibear to basically flash onto Cass or Misfortune without getting Cassiopeia stunned or Heimerdinger stunned or Shen taunted. I do think, though, that Olaf's job is going to be pretty rough this game, because playing Olaf into an Alawi, unless you are way ahead, is pretty rough. Alawi loves to fight champs who have to go in against her, and Olaf only has one setting, and that's go in.
Yeah, so let's head on over to in-game if we can. Video man. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I see.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
All right.
I was like, okay, I'm not exactly sure how the Heimerdinger fits in this team comp.
We've been informed by production that the Heimerdinger is actually Nautilus. So that, to me, I am going to say I like the team comp of Mundolicious more with that, because Olaf's going to run in, Shen's got the taunt or the taunt flash, Nautilus is very easy engage, and while Ezreal can Arcane Shift away, Senna can't, Malzahar can't if his passive has already been popped. I think Mundolicious has a more straightforward way to start a fight, which is, hey Shen, taunt somebody, or hey Nautilus, hook somebody. And Aggressive Enchanters need Malzahar to ult someone, or they need Volibear to run up, or they need a Senna delayed route.
Yeah, so, okay, now we can get over to the video. Shadow. Maybe.
I'm looking at Keystones. I think it all looks pretty straightforward. Actually, no, I take that back. There's weird stuff going on here. We got a Phase Rush on Malzahar, where I think you usually see the Summon Airy for the more reliable poke compared to Comet. You see Electrocute on Ezreal, which I think is weird, because now there's a lot of lethal tempo, there's Grasp, there's Conquer, but usually a more sustained damage rune instead of something that's more bursty.
It's just gonna be a dead Alawi.
Yeah, you done, son. Oh, flat now. Oh, he done. Yeah. Shen misses the taunt, but they burn 2 ignites. Volcron is gonna go down there.
But no, it flashes. Volcron is the only one that died.
Yes.
On flash, so.
And ignites aren't super long cooldowns, so I don't think they're going to mind that. I do think the Conqueror on Shen's a little interesting. I feel like Grasp, like Shen's really good with Grasp, and if you don't want to fight Nalawi, which you usually don't want to, Aftershock is a reliable pick that doesn't require you to trade effectively to use it. Like, you can still Aftershock taunt people in team fights and be fine. So I think that he might be a little not getting much use out of it as he thinks he will, because he doesn't want to fight the Alawi that much. Guardian on Nautilus, I think you usually go Aftershock, but it's still, it's a safer pick. Oh, wow.
Oh, flash hook by Nautilus, and this means that Green's going to have to flash away. Oh, the bullet!
Oh. That is the...
Utopia! We haven't even got over lineups, and we already got 2 kills.
Of all the feelings in League that feels bad, man, flashing and dying after it or as you die might be the most feels bad. Because you're just like, oh, and now I don't have it yet. I'd also like to point out that Senna has Doran's Blade, and not Spectral Sickle.
He also burnt heal.
Oh, he burned heal. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
And both of those kills went to the Misfortune on Oyo Lily. He played really well in the first game, and so I think that him having... Like, Misfortune is very much a lane-dominating champion. She has strong early lane, but doesn't team... She team fights very well in the mid-game, but she struggles with sustained damage and the fact that she's immobile later on. And so her having that lead is hugely important, because a lane-dominating ADC that falls behind is really going to struggle. But a lane-dominating ADC that's ahead controls the lane. He's already got a longsword. I would guess he's going to go for the Essence Reaver, so he might be... Can we see the gold? Oh, hook on to Senna.
Oh, jeez. He's already doubled CS. Or gold. I mean,
and with 816 pocket, he has Caulfield's Warhammer when he chooses to back.
Yeah.
Olaf's in top lane.
Olaf's just hanging out, trying to protect the Shen, who took some bad trades. Got slapped around by some ghosties.
Yeah, that's alright.
But now it's Volibear. Volibear. Oh, flipped not the wrong way, not to his ally. Does he
get the bite? He does.
But, oh no, Cassiopeia, go back top. Go back to top. Can Cassius down the cat? Well, oh, maybe. Has
Gets the speed boost.
Chase it in. There's the slow. Gonna go back in, slaps one tentacle down.
He's out of mana.
The ignite. The ignite. There, pulls it in.
The last auto. I was actually surprised. I thought Volibear was going to win that because he had passive up, and Volibear's bite off his W Frenzy is an execute, which hurts a lot in the early game, but Olaf pulls that out with the extra healing. Since Senna doesn't Senna's poking very effectively. Iris is really looking for a fight. He's got the grab. He's got the ignite.
And that's one down. Heal. Can we get the Ezreal? No, but here, Volibear going to come in? No, Volibear just going to run out.
Yep. I thought that play looked a little forced. I'm like, Iris, man, you're taking a lot of damage going in there. Oh, bop. But he knew he had ignite, so he was like, if I get on him, that's the kill. And it was. 3-0-1 on the Misfortune already.
Okay, so and 6-0 in less than 5 minutes for Mundolicious.
That is a huge early lead on a team that, like, you've got Olaf, like, you've got early game bullies in the Olaf and Misfortune who are going to run over you with their lead. And, you've got Gold on the cast, who's a good scaling pick. Like, they're set up very well. You've got 103 on the Nautilus, so Hyaris is going to be a lot tankier. And Senna, on Autumn Gamer, didn't buy the Spectral Sickle, not a longsword. So not only is she not going to be getting gold income, because she's not taking CS, she only has one minion kill, but she's not making progress towards her quest. And so even if she picks up later, it's going to be a long time before they have that warden capability, whereas I don't know how far the Nautilus on Hyaris is, but I'd expect he's probably 250-ish in terms of gold. So, ooh. That double up crit chunks that. But, that's actually a pretty good trade by Steve, because it keeps allowing her tower for multiple rotations. That's why I don't like facing Shen, because other top laners, when you're beating them, you just walk up and you start hitting their tower. It's kind of like, if you're the bully in school and there's like some dweeb, you'll walk up to him and you take his sandwich and you eat it in front of him.
Yeah, and then you have people like me who were the dweeb, except for they were big.
I mean, I was also the dweeb.
So no one freaking took anything from me, right? So like, yeah, you may push me under tower, but I'm just gonna be like, yeah, just because you can make fun of me doesn't mean you can actually take my lunch money, right? Like,
yeah. But the problem with Shen is you can't go for his tower because he'll just taunt you.
Yeah, well, that's why Shen's awesome. Plus, he's a ninja. He's a flippin' ninja.
Remember when there was the debuff where if you had more than one ninja on a team, they did less damage?
Yeah, it was like one less physical auto attack damage.
It was Kennen, Shen, Akali, I think Zed.
Yeah, when Zed got added, it was in there.
There was also I'm a pirate and I'm a pirate hunter with Misfortune and
and that's just being the fact that you are way over.
Ezreal's looking for an escape route. He's trying for the alcove play, but yeah, that's the time when you should save the heal there.
Yeah, it's just when you get someone like a lane bully like the Misfortune at this point, right? Like Ezreal just wants to try and step back and poke, but Misfortune's going to not let that happen, right? Misfortune's going to be like, yeah, we're going to deal with this now.
And you don't even have him paired with if you had him with like a Vel'Koz or a Brand, something that like hurts in lane, then you could kind of be like, okay, or a hook champ. You're like, all right, Misfortune's fed, but if I Blitzcrank grab her under tower, still die. But you don't have that. You've got Senna, who's very poke oriented, but is very squishy. Yeah, Steve, you got to bail out of this one. Don't. I know you're thinking about dashing in on that. Don't do it, man.
But Volibear's down here in the bot lane, but Nautilus is just, right? So it's the simple math, the levels, it looks like they're just going to jump in here, right?
Yeah, so there's not the damage.
A level 6 and a level 6, that's 12, versus a level 4, a level 4, and a level 5, that's 13. 13 to 12 thinks you have the advantage, but then you have Shen, but none of your level 4s and 5s have ultimates, and that's just too much power. The Vamp Scepter versus the BF Sword and 2 Long Swords on the side of Misfortune. We are looking at 70 to 30 CS. This goes off that first blood right into the Ezreal taking a greedy path into lane after getting a ward on the red buff, right? So it's literally greedy being greedy. As Shen, that's not the smart decision. You're just going to get tentacle slapped.
I don't think it looks like Alawi's ult may have been down there. Otherwise, I don't think she had enough mana.
Okay.
I will say I think those really good play by Stevo, not in dashing into the tentacles. Usually, I'm going to dash into Alawi immediately is followed by death. Yeah. But the fact is that he ult spot to save Hyares, which is good because Hyares is a bounty, and then he TPs back to top. If you Shen ult out of lane when you don't have TP, you're going to lose a lot of plays, especially on someone like Alawi, who's good at pushing the lane and taking plays. But he makes sure he has... Oh.
Well, that's an Essence Reaver to no real items and down 3
Jasmine's going in on... Alright, he's going to get the channel, but she's still got her ult.
wins this. Poison.
No! The tower shot.
Tower OP. Stevo's just going to die to being bitten by... Oh, flashing! Can he taunt away so he doesn't get...
Volibear didn't have flash.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 11 to 1. It's currently I think 5,000 gold.
Nautilus is just gonna walk at Ezreal under the tower and just kill him.
He's just walking there menacingly.
And now Autumn Gamer's gonna just lay down some auto attacks.
Oh yeah, you gotta hide, man.
5. as somehow Olaf, during this whole shenanigans, took Shelly and is going to ram it down mid lane here as all the tower plates are falling. There comes the Nautilus ult and, making it rain and another okay, well.
There's the heal. I feel like...
There's the 8-0-3 misfortune at 11 minutes.
I feel like one thing I want to highlight here is not just like that, yes, there was, the first blood on the Alawi from the topside invade. There was the greedy pathing by Ezreal that got her second kill. Like, there's absolutely been a snowball, and some of that's due to the fact that there is the champion picks. The bot lane on Mundolicious' side are much better at punishing the lane of aggressive enchanters and vice versa. But I think that Hyaris and Oyapolina have done incredibly well with timing invades their aggression around cooldowns. Like the Hyaris dive a few minutes ago where he walks at the Senna and is taking a bunch of damage, but he's like, I have Ignite, and I know that we will win this as long as I can auto her. Right there, he walks under towers, taking a lot of damage, but he has ult, and he knows that Oyapolina has heal and will use it. So I think that they've done a really good job of communicating when they're ready to dive, when they're strong, and playing around their cooldowns to just not give aggressive just any breathing room. There is no opportunity for the Ezreal to farm. He doesn't have his tier. He's building towards what looks like Blade of the Ruined King just to survive. So no Sheen for Iceborne or Triforce, which are core damage and survivability items. He doesn't have tier for Manamune, so he's running out of mana a bunch, and he's going to be so long in stacking that. Like, he is really far behind, and he's just scraping for gold. And now he's having to share it with two other people.
And, there's the hook. But, does Nautilus really care?
He's not going to take that much damage from the Alawi. Alawi has Cleaver, but he's 308 and has Gargoyle Stoneplate. He's already completed his quest, so he has the tier 2 support item. He's got another Ruby Crystal for, my guess would be Knight's Vow. Nautilus really likes health because his shield has a very low base, but has really great max health scaling. So health items are really, really good on Naut. He's not going to take that much damage from the Alawi there. And so he's just going to walk out. And now Oyapolina is just solely in top. He may be too far. There's 1,000 gold waiting to happen.
Yeah, and here's your pick, right?
Oh, the Shen taunt. The Shen ult.
Nautilus is getting... Oh my gosh.
He flashes out. I think Triumph's going to... Yep, Triumph heals him.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe the Shen save. The Shen save.
That was really good. Really well timed from Steve-O. That should have been aggressive enchanters pick comp working perfectly. You've got the Volibear running up on a Misfortune who has no heal. You've got the Malzahar ult, so she can't go anywhere. And it doesn't matter because Hyaris gives her a big enough shield. Steve-O, man, you gotta walk out of the tower. You just...
Oh, Ezreal ult! But he's got no ability, he's got no damage.
Yeah. That's the thing, if Alawi pulls your Spirit under tower, you need to just walk away. You can dodge the tentacles, but the worst thing to do against an Alawi, unless you're very tanky, is to sit within tether range and let her wail on your Spirit, because then you're just taking free damage. Walk out of range, accept becoming a vessel, and then dodge the tentacles. Especially when you're Shen, who has a dash, it's not going to be that hard, and you're just taking damage from the tower, you don't need to.
Okay, so Shen has the Sunfire Cape. Cassiopeia has the Seraphs, stacking. Oh my gosh. Alawi, you got just the Black Cleaver, Essence Reaver,
no boots.
Another BF sword, and Berserk. You were just getting absolutely shredded if you take any more of that poke, man. Yeah,
that should be. My guess would be that's probably gonna be Infinity Edge, Lightning, the Golden Sword. And a Null Magic Mantle, which I would guess is for QSS. Oyapolina used the QSS really well last game. A lot of good, cleansing the Maokai roots, or other CCs. And against Malzahar, it's just tremendously valuable. Because at that point, Malzahar can't really ult you anymore. And, there's not a lot of other CC I feel like you need to cleanse. Maybe a Senna root, but you can't really cleanse the Volibear CC. We're playing for Rift Herald.
Nautilus is going to just get absolutely blown up here by the Misfortune. It looks like she is going to get ulted by the Malzahar, but that's not going to be enough. As actually someone took down the.
That's a good Alawi ult.
Come out, finishes off the Olaf. Sen is going to get off one here, but Shen's been able to take down that person in the back line. Help Misfortune, and Nautilus is still tanking in the front lines. And now Ezreal's going to try and jump away. Can't dash out of that one. Oh my gosh, the damage is just absolutely impressive. Coming out on the side of Mundolicious right now. I mean, they are now 19-2.
Yeah, this is a
Fertile Dragon. They're going to be able to lock this bad dragon up, get to the next tower.
If this were your solo queue games, this would be where someone would start spamming the FF commands.
Yeah, there's. Is this the second? Yeah, because Olaf got the first one like on spawn. So this is actually the second Herald.
They'll get this tower for sure. They might not get third. Enough of aggressive enchanters are up that I think they'll get a charge off, but will they? Nope, they don't get the charge. But Cass, solos the dragon. She's got enough sustain with the venomous bite. No, twin fangs.
Something.
Yeah, it's like poisonous cloud is the miasma and twin fang, and then petrifying gaze is her ultimate, and serpentine grace is her passive.
So, okay, so at this point, if you are, aggressive enchanters, what are you looking at? Like, are you just trying to stall this one out to, come up with a plan? Because, in your first game, you had very CC-heavy AoE team comp with a Misfortune, right?
Yeah.
Curse, what didn't end up being Curse and Set Bolt time?
It was, it was,
the Moon.
Nature's Grasp with, Nunu Ultimate, Absolute Zero.
And and then aggressive Mundolicious went with the heavy split comp team, right?
Yeah.
Heavy split comp. Well, as Oliver gets absolutely shredded and taken down again.
I'm not sure I think he was already dead before he hit the ground from the Nautilus hole.
Yeah, probably.
I think what you're looking for here is Ezreal. I was watching the LCS stream, and they made him remark, which is Ezreal's scaling is based on the ability of his enemies to get to him. And there's not really a lot of people on Mundolicious that can get to him. Outside of the Nautilus hole. Oh, Senna's going to try to run. Good Alawi ult. Alright, they pick off AJ. Yeah.
There we go.
That should deny the push.
Down. Oh, no, Nautilus is going to hook back in.
But it hits Malzahar's passive, so he's alright. I think if you stall long enough, theoretically, Olaf will fall off, and Alawi could get a very good team fight. And Ezreal can kite the enemy team well enough to deal damage even when he's behind. The problem is he can't really kill Misfortune now because you need Malzahar to ult her, but Malzahar only has Illusions, and she has QSS. So if Malzahar ever tries to ult her, she mashes the QSS button, and she autos him 3 times, and that's that. So I feel like you look to pick off the cast because she doesn't have QSS. You'll see in pro play a lot of mages will build it just to avoid getting Malzahar ulted, but you see that less common in more normal level games because it is 1300 gold. It doesn't build into anything that a mage actually wants. I feel like if you pick off the cast with the Malzahar ult, you can then try to get out of the Misfortune ult and maybe win a team fight. Because if Misfortune isn't killing people with her ult, she could potentially be kited or die to the Alawi damage, but it would be a really rough road. I feel like this is probably the point where you're like, alright guys, we either first pick Misfortune next game or we ban her.
Or we come up with a different plan. I was just like, so this is more of like a pick team comp, right? We kind of discussed that, the pick bans. They didn't win with the pick comp last time, they won with an AoE team fight comp. What does the other team have? An AoE team fight comp with a Shen teleporting in to protect this, the person that gets dove on.
Yeah, and I feel like, in my experience, even in Ionia division, I think you see this across all divisions. This is a Demacia League game, but a lot of times if one team comp has much better team fight than the other, they tend to win. Because team fight comps really benefit from the communication that playing in an organized 5-man group gives you. And things like a hard split push comp or some kind of like really dedicated poke comp are difficult to pull off when frankly none of us are pro players. So like
getting a proper split push is pretty difficult.
It is. And like there's some you can do it with like a Juggernaut because a lot of Juggernauts can 1v2 effectively, but it's hard to do with something like a Fiora. So I feel like drafting for Teamfight because Teamfight is kind of a no-fail option. At the end of the day, you can always fall back to good team fighting if you have it. If you draft what I've heard casters call a circle comp, where you pick a bunch of champions with big AoE circle abilities, and you just put all the circles on top of each other, and you're like, alright, that's our plan.
Button comp.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you do the Maokai ult into the Nunu ult, and you're like, yes, I have achieved mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, well, Shen is just soloing out Ezreal under tower because Shen is level 15 and Ezreal is level, like, 12.
That's one of the... with this season's change, they changed around experience a little. Solo laners get more experience, duo laners get less experience. And so when you're behind as a jungler or as a duo laner on experience, you are really behind in terms of levels. We're just taking a decent chunk of damage there, but Volcron has Ninja Tabby and is working on Sterox. He's just not tanky enough at this point. Like, Sterox is hugely important for Alawi because it allows her to absorb burst and then answer with her own combo. And you really feel a noticeable difference in your durability before and after Sterox. Olaf's going for what will be the Ocean Soul, the Infernal Soul here. That's the second Infernal Soul.
Second game in a row where the blue team's going to get the 4 dragons in a row, and both of the 4th dragons has been Infernal. And
dear.
That's a dead Volibear.
Yep.
He just walked into CC, and I mean, he has the Ninja Tab eye, but that's not really, that's your only tank.
Yeah, and I don't like the no magic mantle. I think.
Okay, that's a teleport in onto Tentacle as.
But they're gonna lose the in-hit.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. Maybe Volcron called it like, "Hey guys, I think they're going in on me. I need help." And maybe it was a call to like, "Hey, we're gonna give up the in-hit." But all right, good damage on the Cassiopeia here from Malzahar. But yeah, the infernal damage is too much.
That's level 14 to I think like level 12. Right? So like, these are like, I don't want to like, it's when you're fighting a comeback of this deficit, you literally like you're taking the gambles, like the risks. You're not taking 60-40s.
No, you're taking like 80-20s.
Like 80-20s, and you're the 20, right? Like,
yeah.
You have to play it that way, and if it looks bad when you lose, but if you didn't take it, then you're losing like the 95-5, right?
Yeah.
So you better take the 80-20 instead of the 95-5, and it just looks really rough. But so, so we're at 24 minutes. They're obviously not going to FF it. It's the finals. They're going to try and come up with a game plan for game number 2 here, and they're going to be. They get to pick sides again. They're going to get some bans again. Like,
yep, they're going to be.
It's misfortune, right? It's like,
yeah, I think. Given that both ADCs have shown themselves to be very capable on Misfortune, I think she is going to be a pick ban for the rest of the series. It's either you first pick it, you ban it, or you somehow come up with something that you think is going to beat. Flash out of Volibear. I think that's the weakness of the. I've been panning through the builds. I think the builds on aggressive on Mundolicious I like. I think they're all doing quite solid. I like most of the ones on Mundolicious. I don't like the Volibear build. The Cinderhulk's fine, but I don't think Sphere of Visage was the next call because you're not living long enough to really get your healing off. You don't want to grab the Olaf. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, they're going to fight anyway. Misfortune killed someone off screen at the Ezreal. Cassiopeia drops down, and there's going to be one more. Ooh, nice Malzahar ulti with the pull-in from allowing to see if this finishes one off. Shen's going to taunt his way on through to the back line. and see what's going to happen. Olaf's going
Olaf's
to charge
very
on in.
low, but yeah,
Tentacle
he's gonna
slapping
walk.
around, but I think all the inhibitors dropping Misfortune just now
Oh!
enters the fight. It just absolutely says, Senna, you're gone. Alawi, slap this as you disappear. Shen ulti, this time he's like, oh, I got a giant shield flash taunt, and with another shot takes down another champion as I think we can say
Yeah,
this
that's game. That's a 17-0 Misfortune. Like,
Yeah.
she is 5 times aggressive Enchantress kills.
That's a rough one. So, okay.
What? Yeah, I think
Improvement. But it's
Yep.
just game 2 here, so
pick ban the Misfortune, and I think drop the Senna. Because Yuumi Ezreal is a very good combo, and Autumn had a good game on Yuumi. Let me check. I don't think it was banned. No, it was not banned. They Mundolicious banned Nunu, Zac, Caitlyn, Cho'Gath. So I would have, I would have, and they picked the Senna first rotation. Mundolicious first picks the Misfortune, and then aggressive Enchanters respond with Senna and Volibear. And I don't know, maybe the Volibear is a comfort pick after Nunu. I seem to remember that it was. Well, I think aggressive Enchanters jungler also plays Warwick, who might have been a pretty good pick here. Double suppression. But I think the Yuumi could have gone better to give you more team fight, because then that's a big AoE route. And like their comp was really based around, Volibear's going to fling someone or Malzahar's going to ult someone, and then all our damage kills them, and if they try to engage on us, Alawi. And when there was the early start, Alawi wasn't just stomping lane against Shen, and their bot lane's really behind. They don't have the damage to follow up. Volibear is not tanky. Like, single target comps can fall apart really hard, in my experience, because if the people who are responsible for picking off the single target are behind, they either don't do the damage or don't have the tankiness to pull it off. And at some point, people are no longer alone in League of Legends. Like, after 30 minutes, ADC should not be alone. They should always have someone else with them. And the only people who are alone are assassins and juggernauts, or like bruisers, who are fully willing and able to 1v1 fine. And so at that point, your options are, all right, well, we could, I guess, like, all dogpile the Shen, maybe, in which case, all right, you kill Shen, but you burn a bunch to do it and you don't get very much. Or you try to go through all the peel for the Misfortune, which is a tough slog.
yeah. I don't know if there's like a super win-win here, so definitely notes to take into game number 3, and we're going to take a few-minute break to allow the cast team to get set up for that one, so stick around.
Yep, be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the AMO and TTU Phoenix coming at you with game number 3 between Aggressive Enchanters and Mundolicious in the best of 5 finals in Demacia. Okay, TTU Phoenix, it's won. It's now a best of 3.
I think that there have been there were some issues. So Aggressive Enchanters did not have all their bans in the previous games, but I think that we see on both sides what I think is very good adaptation. And Mundolicious has recognized that Misfortune is a priority pick for this. Both of their ADCs play it. Both of them play it quite well. Both times the team with Misfortune won, and so them being red side, they're like, we are going to. They also banned the Nunu that Aggressive Enchanter used to good effect in one. Aggressive Enchanter response. They banned the Olaf, which I think Mundolicious did use quite well. They also banned the Shen in the second round. And they first picked the Veigar, strong, safe scaling. They picked Caitlyn Morgana, which are one of the best bottling comps that I can think of outside of maybe Draven and a hook champ. They picked Warwick, which is a comfort pick for their jungler, and then Set for their top lane, who's very strong. I think, were these played on the previous patch?
Yes.
Yes, so Set had only had his first round of nerfs at the time. Since then, his base armor and base and health regen level have been nerfed. So he's a little tankier going to be in this game than he was on live. Mundolicious is switching it up. The only repeat pick now is the Nautilus. They've got Garen and Xin Zhao for top jungle. I'm assuming that's going to be a.
Yeah, TT. You cut out entirely.
Sorry. How much did you?
I heard Garen.
Okay, Garen and Xin Zhao for what I assume will be top in jungle, and I'm assuming that is a Swain mid.
Yeah, well, we will find out here momentarily. So I think different team comps. I mean, definitely looking at different styles, more team fighty, split pushy. Pick comps, a lot of different champions and setup, picks and ban. I'm liking the development of the styles coming out from both of these teams, at least trying to progress together. So, Shadow, I think we are ready to get into game number 3. If you are ready.
Looking at it, I think I like Aggressive Enchanters draft a little bit more because of the fact that, like, the Swain on Kazoo, the Varus, the Nautilus, these are all team fighters. But Xin Zhao, playing into a Morgana Veigar is good, and Garen too, is going to be real tough. You're going to be caged up, you're going to be hit by the Morgana root, the Morgana ult.
They see the invade this time, so they're not going to have an instant death coming out. No counter invade to get any vision down.
They're not all committing. They're looking to maybe pick off Volcron, but he's walking away. Yeah, he doesn't want to give up first blood like last. Itemization all looks pretty standard. Oh, alright. Hyros just really wanted to take that extra step to the wall.
He wanted to place the ward, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Warding is power. Knowledge is power. Vision is the light of the world. So, for those of you who haven't been paying attention to games 1 and 2, we have on the side of Aggressive Enchanters. Up in the top lane, we have Vulcan Gaming on the Set, Lightning on the Work in the jungle, Stud Nugget on the Veigar in the mid lane, Greedy on the Caitlyn AD carry, and Autumn Gamer on the support Morgana. On the side of Mundolicious on the red side here, we have Stevo760, as it looks like Hyaris on the support is going to actually does get the hook in onto the Warwick here. He's going to harass, but the nice binding from the Morgana means that Nautilus is going to have to run it on back. AJT L3 on the Xin Zhao in the jungle, Kazu on the Swain mid lane, Yolopolia, I can't pronounce your name.
Olapolina?
Yolopolina.
Yolopolina, am I right?
Oh my! Well, after last game, maybe.
He didn't die. He played the game all in one life.
Yeah, he did. He excellent job as Stun
Good trade from Swain.
Gets pulled in. think this is the thing. Levels like before you get to like level 7, the minions do a lot of damage to you.
Mm-hmm. If you die before like level 4 or 5, check the death recap and you'll take 250 damage. So I think that aggression was unnecessary from Hyares. His jungler was on the top side. All he needed to do was drop a ward to be like, okay, they did start our blue. Hook onto Autumn Gamer. He doesn't have the shield available, forced to flash.
And flashing in the top lane is everyone is.
Oh no!
Garen dies to tower.
That's one of those things where you see blood, you see how low health they are, you want to go for it, but like, as a jungler, I think one of the most important lessons to learn is that you don't have to get a kill when you get it. If you can burn resources, if you can burn sums, that's enough. If you burn the set flash, walk away. Set now has no flash, you can try to regank, Garen can be more aggressive later, and learning to take what's a smaller victory can be important, and they both decide that they want that first blood and end up giving it that.
Yeah, well, the vertical jungling was, I think, going to be in favor of, aggressive enchanters anyway, and this just makes it even more so. Although Volcom Gaming,
he's going for it, and he's got it. He gets an answering kill.
He's stuck around, right? Like,
yeah.
You get first blood after burning flash. I know that no one's in lane, and you can just go back. But like at that point, you shouldn't be just backed. Take your first blood, teleport back to lane on an even footing, right? That's
Seth's got a lot of regen, but not that much regen.
He's not Garen.
Yeah.
He close, but he's not Garen. Oh, Nautilus with trying to bait them in with
trying
the
to bait.
Oh, they're gonna trade off stuns.
He doesn't. The heal's not enough, and he didn't have shield there. Oh, the huge haymaker from Volcron.
So now we're just gonna trade top lane kills. This is the way we like to see it. Blow for blow.
Yes, this is the way.
This is the way. Okay, if there's another kill the next 7 minutes, we may just make Shadow be like, we ignore the rest of the map. We're just gonna go for a blow for blow. We're gonna put on our best Evo, casting skills here and see what happens in the 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another Ocean Dragon is the first one. What's up with this series, my man? Like,
was the Ocean Dragon the first last time?
It was the first in game 1. I think it was this. I think it was like air in game 2, and then ocean, and then 2 fires.
I remember back in the previous system when there wasn't Dragon Soul, but there were still the 4 types of elemental drakes, and you would only get 3 of them at once. Someone did like 100 practice matches and tested, and he did find that they weren't all weighted the same. And at least at the time, I think water. I don't remember but I believe water drag was slightly weighted to be more common as a first drag. I don't know if that's still the case. I would guess that it might be because that is a less scaling Drake. It doesn't mean as much late game when a little bit of regen out of laning isn't as important, where if people get chunked, they're either dead or forced to back, or they have lifesteal and lifesteal off something. But in early lane, a water dragon means a lot. So I don't know if that's the case, but I wonder if it might be. Garen's forced to, just hide under his turret, get the CS he can. Seth's level 6, so he's not really in a position to try to fight. He's not level 6, though.
Well, they're just going to stand there and regen, and Garen's going to win the regen battle versus any day. And especially now with that Ocean Dragon that was picked up by Ajetos, so...
Yes, by Mundolicious, yes.
Mundolicious. I was trying to say the jungler's name. I spent 10 plus hours at work today talking to people, so excuse me my pronunciation, and they sounded like they are French.
So what does he say you do here?
Come on, Phoenix, please, laugh at my terrible...
What does he say you do here? I have people skills, don't you understand that?
I'm a people person!
Garen did ult in the top lane, but it all went into the Haymaker shield. So the lane is once again in favor of Set because he no longer has the threat of that Garen ultimate, the Demacia Injustice, and so he can't walk up to the wave right now. And what's awkward is Set at least has Haymaker to farm from range if he really needs to. Garen doesn't have that option. He only farms in melee range.
Spin the win, my friend, as Warwick is stealing the red buff here, as we kind of gone back to some vertical jungling. Now, Rift Herald Shelly was an important figure in both games 1 and 2, with junglers taking it extremely early, pretty much on spawn in both of those games. And it looks like we have Warwick doing the same. Nope, he's just running away. I thought he was going to take it again. I thought we were going to have 3 straight games of, the Scuttle or Shelly being taken at 8 minutes.
I think in both of the games we've seen so far, the teams have done it when they felt they had control to do it. And I don't think either team thinks they have control right now. Like, Aggressive Enchanters, their top laner is controlling the matchup, true, but mid's even, and Garen is still capable of... fancy feat from the Caitlyn to get out of that one.
Well, flash and heal and net burnt to escape, so, she didn't use everything. She was going to die.
Yeah, I think both teams... that was a good escape. Well done from her to recognize that. She dodges the hook, and Nautilus is not yet level 6. He's level 4, so no depth charge to follow it up. But yeah, I don't... Warwick is very good at soloing Rift Herald, but he wouldn't necessarily have the control to do so.
Missed the true damage on that one. So, I mean, both these, mid laners can scale infinitely. Technically, Swain.
Yeah, but Veigar scaling is better because it's AP.
Better. Oh no! Oh no! Xin Zhao walks right into the work with the fear, and there's the ultimate to see if Swain can pull out. Not going to happen. Going to ult in. It looks like we have flashes coming out, and it looks Xin Zhao is going to drop. And Kazu
doesn't have a lot of mana, but that should be. Oh no! It's not quite a kill.
Oh, he's going to have to flash out.
And Warwick just heals so much when he's low on health. So
yeah,
the vertical, both junglers have been trading jungles, but Warwick's ahead on CS. I suspect because he's probably getting more of the scuttles, and so he hits level 6 before Xin Zhao does. He suspects Xin Zhao's going to be coming top for the scuttle. Waits in the bush. He did use the ult there, yes, but
yep,
for a kill, that's worth. Yep.
So yeah, the advantage now goes in favor of aggressive enchanters, and this is sort of what we kind of saw in games 1 and 2, the blue side having the advantage, but Mundolicious was, with the vertical jungling, able to get the first dragon, which means that these top laners go back to the top lane. No one gives a shit about bot lane, Shadow. No one. Okay, never mind. I guess we're sticking down here.
That's a kill.
Goes greedy to Hyaris' ignite. I wanted to see the fist versus the sword. But I guess Spectator Cam knew what was better for us.
Looks like Volcron flashed out of concern that he was going to go down after the Demacia Injustice came through. And so he just backs, TPs into a ward. I've definitely done that where you see someone taking your ward and you're like, you don't get to take my ward, and you TP to it. Especially the maximum BM is when you wait until it's 1 or 2 health left and then you TP to it. So they think they're going to get it?
Swain's walking in, trying to dissuade the Warwick from ulting in here, trying to get in over the wall, as they're going to be able to finish that one out. And with the smite, Xin Zhao does hit level 6. He can use his ult, so we may have a re-engage. Black Shield is onto the work, but there's no mana. And it looks like, and down goes the Nautilus. There's the ult from Xin Zhao for a complete disengage. I'll trade a support's life for a second dragon of the game.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think Zen needed to ult there. I don't know, maybe it was, hopefully it was communicated, but when Hyaris hooked back in, that was definitely a sacrifice play. That was all right, I'll hook in and die, you guys run.
Because, I think it was just a, hey, I'm popping this right now just in case Warwick tries to ult in my direction. Just not, because it gives a knockback, and it's I guess technically a stun.
It's a knockback effect.
It's a knockback, but for your champion to land and then start moving again, it's a quarter-second stun on the land.
Yeah. Though notably, Warwick might have been able to get out of it because Warwick is unstoppable during his ult's travel, during the lead. He's not unstoppable while he's latched onto someone. That is a channel, so hard CC, like a stun, like a knockup, will cancel it a bit. But during the leap, he is unstoppable.
Well,
Showstopper comes through, Facebreaker.
Into the wall, so nothing actually really happened.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a disengage ult hey, I want to make this guy stop attacking.
Well, Xin Zhao and Swain were seen running up the river towards the top half of the map for some unfair 3-on-1 action as the bot lane's fighting over wards, just like it's the top lane. As vision control for both of these teams has now become a higher priority as it's an closer to even game.
Warwick hunting top.
Nice
good,
flash.
A very good flash. He's probably going to go down there. Nope. That's like the second or third time I've seen Steve-O throw his Demacia Justice into the Haymaker shield. Like, you want to use it to confirm the kill, especially because once you see the Warwick hunt pop up, you're like, uh-oh, I'm getting ganked. I gotta do this fast and at least try to trade my life. But I'd like him to be a little bit more patient and try to hold the ult to make sure he's going to get the kill. Because once he gets low and the grit is fully charged, you know Seth's going to use the Haymaker. And the shield doesn't last very long, so you can wait it out.
As we're going to have, that's probably going to be a dead Caitlyn. Maybe
1 auto, 2 autos? He can't. There we go, he gets it.
I mean, that's just the Varus ultimate into the Nautilus ultimate into...
He's rooted on the Tormented Soil, but he heals.
Ignite, everything was basically burnt except for the Ignite on the side of Nautilus to take down the Caitlyn. Black Shield must have been down. I just want to say, right at 14 minutes here, there was only like 2 tower plates taken by Set, 2 or 3 in top lane, 1 for Garen, 1 for Viger taken in mid lane, and 1, I think, for each of the bot lanes. So the tower plating gold is a lot closer in this game compared to the last one, as we're going to see 3 people chased off the Garen going up, while Xin Zhao and Swain are going to focus in, and looks like they're going to go, and we're going to have a full fight here. So there's come off some gross explosion down, takes out the Xin Zhao, but now the work is dropped, and looks like there's 2 junglers down. Set's going to get off a giant shield. Let's knock me down. Viger's going to have to flash away after taking out the Garen. So the top laners are dead. The mid laners are playing.
He's chasing. He gets the root. Yeah.
One more shoot. Can he get another one? Otto takes him down. The last one. The little flick there. Just like you can just see, just like Swain. He literally walked away from explosion at that one. He literally like threw it and walked away. That's some Denzel Washington action right there.
I will say, before the 3v3 fight, where the Rift Herald did not get taken, enough people went down on both sides. Varus is in the go here. That's going to be the CC combo. Well. Yeah, he's done. That Morgana Caitlyn combo is so unfair, because you get hit by the Morgana and you just don't get out for like 5 seconds.
And that's because Nautilus had roamed to mid lane to help with that, the Rift Herald. So
in the 2v2 earlier, it was good play by Harris. Varus ults the Caitlyn. Morgana responds by shielding Caitlyn, seeing, they're going to go in. He hooks Caitlyn and hits her with the E, the Riptide, which breaks the black shield and then ults her, so that they have the follow-up CC even after she nets and flashes away. Gank on...
Flash out by Swain, as it looks like there's a ton of action coming up here. Set's going to throw out a ton of damage onto Garen. He'll probably see if he can heal that one up. Set is the first to the Trinity Force, so that is good for him, as he's going to be punchy against Swordy in the top lane here. But we have another Dragon here in 5 seconds. No top laner has teleport. Set's coming up here shortly. Vigers is on cooldown, so is Swain's, but Swain's got the eye of the beholder, or
Visions of Empire.
No, dude, it's
the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And
Warwick goes in.
Gonna go in here, but he's hit by the Varus ultimate, so we see go to over 2 on 2.
Baker can do a lot of damage here.
But popped out. It's going to pop in. Swain's now going to try and pull through and does so. We're going to, but Caitlyn doesn't have any other mana, neither as Morgana. As Viger is now going to try and chase up. Not going to happen. Can Hyaris get in range for an auto attack? Is the little Yordle hoppity, not hoppy fast enough. You're a leprechaun. You've gone down because they've gone after your treasure and you can't run away. Set teleport.
You're after me. You're after me, man.
they're going to try and get some slow. As
Yeah.
Jog into the back, but it's not going to matter. As Hyaris is going to get off one auto attack to get some stun, and he's going to try and get the Conqueror, the proc off, as Hyaris is now going to walk away. He does have the red buff, and there's the punch, but not enough to finish off. Caitlyn not in range to get the auto ultimate off, and it looks like he's going to be pulled in. One more blast by Kaiuzi is going to finish off the Morgana here, and Xin Zhao is going to be wrapping back around, looking at the dragon, and now we're going to have fun time with Steve-O up in the top lane. That's Garen. He's going to slice and dice his way through the tower as we're going to finally get in onto this dragon. Let's go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Go, go, go. And we get punching and abilities, and we're going to dive in onto the Caitlyn.
Ooh, huge haymaker.
Like, Xin Zhao, that's my carry. I'm going to take you down for it. Now Varus has come back into the fight, and he's going to throw in.
Warwick's hunting.
Warwick is back. Here he goes. Trying to get the fear. He's going to heal up off of this one, but can Swain heal back instead? Nope, that's going to finish one. I pulled into the wall, and there's going to be another punch as Garen takes down the top lane. He goes, haha, first brick is mine. Haha, I am Demacia. I'm done talking, dude.
So in a really long extended fight, it goes in favor of Mundolicious early because Kazoo just pops off, does a ton of damage, lots and lots of really good never moves for the root, but in the end, people respawn, they get back to lane, and Swain doesn't have ult yet. That was a massive buy for him. He finishes his Rod of Ages at 18 minutes, which is pretty late. It's going to be almost 30 minutes for that to be fully stacked. I'm sure he was sitting on the goal, but he just didn't have a chance to recall for it. But he also has now picked up Haunting Guys. I'd like to see Morello as well, just to deal with the Warwick, but Haunting Guys is going to do a good job at eating through the Warwick, the Set, the high HP targets, and he's going to be in combat for a long time for that.
On his ultimate as well.
Yeah, because it'll increase his damage dealt, which increases healing. There is first tower going down. AJT, the Xin Zhao is real squishy. He's got the Executioners. I don't think Executioners is really what you'd want here. If you want to 1v1 the Warwick, Thornmail is going to do as good a job. And again, I'm not a fan of...
Well, Garen's going to hit Warwick in the face as they run away from each other.
I'm not a fan of Executioners on champions who don't intend to build Blasphemous Spray. Because otherwise you're just going to sell the gold. Uh-oh.
Well, Garen's not going to try and run away from this one. He's going to try and spin, but there's the Warwick ultimate coming out now. Swain's going to ult instead, but he's going to get dunked to the back line, but it looks like Swain's going to get the better of the first jungle.
He's healing, but the Veigar ult's already down.
Oh my gosh, his finisher one. There's the explosion is going to flash away. Can Kazu finish? He's going to dance in it. Not going to happen. It's getting punched in the face by Set, but it looks like Xin Zhao's going to go for the knockup. But,
does he? Yeah, he does get it.
And Vigar's going to drop the cage, not going to stay in range. He's going to finish this. Morgana actually had the back with like less than 100 HP in the bot lane, so there must have been a large skirmish down there as well in the 2v2, as that one had to go in favor of Hyaris.
Yeah, both of Mundolicious's flashes and ults are down, and the ignite out of Hyaris, so they clearly went in for a 2v2. All right, dodges the dredge line. Careful, Varus, you don't want to get hit by a Dark Binding.
Yeah.
But the movement speed from Guardian gets down. Yep.
Like, this game started off pretty slow and very fair and even, and I'm going to say like the 15 to 20 minute mark has been just
crazy.
Biggity buck, 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 up, 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 up. Okay, so Warwick, he's looking to gank here. Probably not going to happen. Next Dragon's in 2.5 minutes. I don't think anyone's setting up for Baron. No one took a Shelly this game.
This time,
only one tower down.
Aggressive Enchanters. So aggressive Enchanters have a Cloud Drake. It is a Cloud Soul, not an Infernal Soul this time. It's interesting. I think Cloud Soul benefits certain characters very heavily.
You mean like Warwick?
So it does in terms of the ult cooldown, because Warwick's so ult reliant, and movement speed to chase people. I think he'll get a lot of benefit. I think the ones I would be concerned about are the mid laners, because more ult CDR on the Veigar ult is just really scary because of how huge of a nuke it is. Also, the Morgana and Swain ults, because those are ults that really need you to be up next to someone. And imagine a Swain ulting and running at you with like 50% bonus speed. Like, if you have a champion that ults at the start of a fight and then needs to stick to someone, then Cloud Soul is really good. Like on Mordekaiser, it makes you super fast for the entire duration of the Thunder Go. So that's very threatening. For characters like well, for Warwick it does go off after the channel, but for characters like Caitlyn or Varus, who aren't necessarily going to be running up on people after ulting, it's a little less useful, but movement speed and ult CDR never hurt.
Well, Set was holding mid lane here as they're just trying to pressure in these bottom 2 towers and like a 2 per champions per lane type of thing, and Warwick running around while Garen gets off some farm in the side lanes. Split push has not been the friend of neither team in the winning record, where it's been all about the team fights. And this next dragon, I think, in 30 seconds is going to just be explosive here. What type of vision do you think either team should focus on? I do see that notable pink ward by the red buff.
Yeah, so if you're...
Right. That's right into happen is they're going to probably...
Varus has no mana. Are they going to... They're going to get...
Oh, Warwick's able to finish him off. Not in time, though. Vigor teleports in, and Garen's going to teleport in as well. He's going to try and spin the win onto the enemy AD carry. He's not going to finish it off without 10 health. He's going to finish it off. He's going to spin. Not going to happen. Drops down, and tower drops in the mid lane to Xin Zhao's. Okay, well, don't worry about the warding for Dragon, because you just killed the bot lane, and that's better wards.
Yeah, this should go in... This should go to aggressive Enchanters. I was going to say, I think the important thing for Mundolicious would be to ward behind the pit, because Warwick can just ult over it, but he doesn't have to. Now, Veigar did ult in that fight. So Swain gets stunned up.
Xin Zhao's coming in. Do we go for another steal? Are we going to see
They're going into fight.
They're going to be going on in. Nope, Warwick's going to be able to take that one. It looks like we got a golden dragon champion here, as Xin Zhao's going to get not... Oh, it actually drops down. And Swain just like flash ulted the Caitlyn, and she popped like a balloon.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure if that was the best call, because he abandons Xin Zhao for the shutdown on the Caitlyn, which is good. But it also means that Xin dies in return, and if he stayed in the pit, I guess Dragon already gone down, but I feel like if he positioned himself just right around the corner of the pit, he could have maybe killed both Caitlyn and Warwick with the ult. And Warwick also has a bounty on him now.
Yeah.
So, He takes the guaranteed shutdown on the Caitlyn, which is good, but this Warwick's 5-3, and that's not something to be sneezed at. He's probably very close to finishing his Titanic Hydra, and then he'll be building some form of armor item after that. Dead Man's Plate, maybe Thornmail. I wouldn't mind Thornmail considering how much auto attacking and healing there is on the side of Mundolicious.
Okay, well, they've taken down all the outer towers now except for the bottom tier 1. And the gold is, slightly favoring aggressive Enchanters here at the 42k to just under 38k. If you want to flip over the individual champion gold here, maybe. Eventually.
I'm curious about the mid lane, because I feel like... Alright, so it's actually very even in the mid lane.
It's dead even. Oh, Varus is running away. Caitlyn, oh my gosh. Ult.
Yep, right onto the Crescent Guard. Oh, Swain, run! Run, man! Run, Pirates!
Black Shield's going to come through. He's going to get dunked onto the Varus. Not going to happen. He's popped the QSS. It looks like Swain's going to go into...
Not quite enough damage.
Not enough. Actually, he broke his stopwatch. I forgot. He broke his toy. No, that's going to be a bit dead. Nautilus.
Yep.
And with, Swain and Nautilus down, Garen off with the split push. Now, we'll see how good the split push is here. Can Varus and Xin Zhao, they're going to be able to protect the tier 2 here.
They're going to do Baron here. Like, they should be able to get this. Garen's in bot. Xin Zhao to a level 12 to 13. He's a level down. He's not going... He's got a flash in. I don't think he doesn't have flash. They don't get this. I was gonna say I don't know if gold means as much in the late game, because I feel like Xin Zhao and Warwick both fall off. Garen and Set are both juggernauts, though given the itemization, Set's gonna be better. Well, that's awkward. Set's gonna be better as a frontliner because he's got tank boots, he's got Sterak's Gauge, he's building another tank item. Whereas Garen's going for the crit. You got two good... Alright.
Well,
walk up and let them take your red buff. Oh,
and,
on the trap.
Well, Yeah, you just let him take it, so then you get the kill and red buff afterwards. So,
but it's the mid lane where like gold doesn't reflect the fact that the Veigar is fed and he has death cap second again, and he's building Morello, which will cut.
Can we see the AP on the Veigar? Veigar, I can't ever see.
175.
Ooh,
that is more than a death cap of AP, and notably, death cap increases. Is it 30%?
Yeah, or was it 33%? 40%. Thanks, mid laner. As we now see a fight coming out, looks like Caitlyn gets some crits off onto the Swain.
Oh, just obliterated.
Sonya's Xin Zhao's gonna have to pop the ult to run away, and there's the hook to the wall. Can we blast cone away? We can! And Set's gonna take down the tower. He's gonna try and fight the Varus in a 1v1 after the tower has dropped. But you got Baron buff, my friend. Like, those cannon Baron minions are gonna deal a ton of damage. They're Freak's friends. As they take down the tier 2 in mid lane, as aggressive Enchanters are now pushing in all three waves, looking really strong as the next dragon spawn in 27 seconds. All tier 2s dropped in less than a minute, Phoenix.
Ooh, that's just rough to deal with, like, because tier 2s are one of those towers where an enemy is Baron buff, you don't feel too bad about sacrificing them.
But you sacrificed all 3.
Yeah, but then it opens up your base, and now you're losing inhibitor turn. And that's what because that means the inhibitor is currently exposed.
Mm-hmm. Well, Caitlyn's going to get some free shots here on this. We're going to see what happens. Nautilus is going to take Morgana binding to the face, and he's going to stand there for eternity before he gets to walk on out. Oh, he's going to take another one. Nautilus is just like, I was trapped in the ocean forever. Don't send me back.
I feel like one of the issues here is they forced the flash heal out of Caitlyn. That's a third air drag for aggressive enchanters. They are on soul point, and 30% reduced ult CDR, and their chance is very strong.
Jeez. Plus any cooldown reduction. Can we look at Vigor's ultimate? I know he's got some CDR.
Yeah, it's multiplicative. It doesn't stack. I don't know which applies for 36 seconds.
36 seconds. He's level 16.
Yeah. So if he gets
off twice in a team fight, if he like does a combo and it goes really long, he could maybe get a second ulti off.
And he'll probably get at least 10% more CDR if he from like a Zanya's maybe
or blue buff.
Yeah, or a blue buff.
As War takes it away from his girlfriend. Although Vigor's gonna have to flash out from the Swain because Swain lands those pulls.
And he's going to get, if they get one more air drag, you're probably looking at a sub 30-second ultimate cooldown, which means he might be able to ult essentially twice as much.
Yeah, that's going to be super impactful. And that's not even included something like Morgana or the Set dunking in to start and dunking out to leave, or, Warwick kind of doing the same thing. So it's going to be really impactful here. The Set's going to try and run in. Now, there is the open inhibitor. There's no tower to fall back. There's one slow. Nautilus is going to get dunked into the Swain. It's going to happen, and Xin Zhao's going to pop.
Big face breaker.
Damage from coming out. It looks like we do get his golden Zonias from Swain. He's going to put everything out, and Varus has not been touched in the backline with the back to the reach blade.
He's just free firing
everything, and there's the crits, and Swain exploded on top of the carries as well. They're going to chase down Morgana, but can she get it? No, she's going to have to flash out of that one. Spin to win, but you're not going anywhere, my friend Garen, as now they're just going to hunt down this Morgana. Can they catch her? Will they catch her? Nobody knows.
Probably got Root up again.
Find out next time on Demacia Finals game number 3. Oh, when you get pulled in. Oh.
That's a kill. Her flash's already down. Yep, that's the ace.
Okay, so there's the ace, and there's one
Nautilus should tank this. Yeah, tank this. Yeah, at this point, for those who are pushing towers, if you have 1 or 2 minions, get your front line to tank it. Do not let the minion tank it. Because while there's a minion under a tower, they take, when there's no minions correctly, the towers have what are called backdoor. They're immune to true damage, and they take significantly reduced damage from all of their sources. So that minion is more important than your Nautilus health bar, because that minion is allowing your Varus to grind the tower down. So they correctly have Hyari's tank it with his shield. They get the tower, they get the inhibitor, and notably, Mundolicious did not lose their own inhibitor. So they're going to have to try to push out mid lane to make sure that the supers don't get into their base.
I just want to say that team fight had a great Xin Zhao ultimate, as
Mhm.
he was absolutely dunked on by the
Oh,
ward here.
the Jaws of the Beast, unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's gonna get picked up. Warwick is unstoppable during the duration of his Q and latches onto the target, so can't knock him away.
But prior to that, in the mid lane, when Warwick jumped in, he got pushed out. Same with Sat, and then they had to run back through the Swain ultimate while he was golden, and that just like drained and stacked and stacked and stacked on his ultimate. And Nautilus was able to survive with like the tiniest bit of health, and no one really got onto Varus, who's just the free file here. And oh no, there's the ultimate. It looks like we're having another fight here. Warwick's gonna try and get in the background, but his ultimate's already down. Seth's gonna dunk into the backline here, but then ult doesn't land on anything. Swain has gone in onto Caitlyn to finish that one out. Varus just
Nautilus is so tanky.
Varus stand in the way. Nautilus doing an excellent job of being the peel machine that he is supposed to be.
Veigar is caught in the backline.
He's gonna cage his run away from here. No pull coming out. Swain's going to run into that cage, and Varus is finally going to take down the Warwick. And Nautilus get another hook on the Morgana. There's a great set shield coming out, but that's not going to matter as Garen's going to spin the win on top of him, and that's going to finish everyone off. As
Varus just buzzsaws through this team.
There's just not like a focus, right? No one got onto the Varus consistent.
Yeah,
right?
and notably, I think the previous team fight with the Golden Swain was an example of what happened. Is the fully charged Haymaker from Set in that previous fight almost kills Varus, but it doesn't. In that time, he has to QSS, he gets Warwick ulted, but he doesn't quite die, and so he just gets to free fire. And they're going to end the game here. The death timers are too long. Varus has too much attack speed. Like notably, there's very little armor was on the side of Aggressive Enchanters. Veigar has nothing. Set has built Sterox Gauge, Trinity Force, Merc Treads, and Warmog's armor. He has a large amount of health and no armor against a Varus with Blade of the Ruined King, Gwynsu's Rage Blade, and the percent HP damage from Bladed Quiver. The only armor is on Warwick, and it's a Ninja Tabby and Deadman's Plate, and not the Frozen Heart, not the Randuin's, not the Thornmail that you probably need to slow that attack speed. All of their frontline, if they don't kill Varus instantaneously, he will just buzzsaw them with percent HP. And that's what happened, is Mundolicious in 2 clutch fights, their frontline is just tanky enough to successfully peel for Oyopolina, and Swain doesn't really need peel because he heals and has his Zanyas, and so all of their damage is just going off, and there's nothing that Aggressive Enchanters can do to stop it. And that's why I hate on-hit carries, because they just grind you down when you're a tank.
Okay, so yeah, getting ground down with on hits is not particularly the best. So an epic back and forth controlling from both these games. Mundolicious is going to win this game down 2,000 gold, down 1 kill, down 1 dragon, down 1 baron. And it was just those 2 team fights, back-to-back team fights, that won them the game.
And that feels
purely
bad.
like champion selection in a coordinated team fight, right? Because these are the things we discussed coming out of games 1 and game 2 is whoever had the better or easier setup to the coordinated team fight seemed to succeed the most and propel themselves to victory. And here in game 3, it looked like they had started getting into the groove, but you still have to execute your team fight.
And I think what I want to see, what I'm going to be looking for in the next match is mental and morale from Aggressive Enchanters. Because, like, getting stomped game 2, like, yeah, that's not fun. It feels bad. But you won game 1, and you won game 1 in pretty convincing fashion. So you're like, all right, guys, it was a bad game. Misfortune gets 2 kills before minion. It's just like, write this one off. Laugh it off. And they looked really good for much of game 3. Like, they were controlling the game, they were winning the team fights. The Garen, the Xin Zhao weren't tanky enough to withstand the damage of Aggressive Enchanters. Your Veigar is fed. But and then you can't quite close it out in 2 fights at the enemy inhib. In mid, you lose, and the first fight you lose your inhib, the second fight you lose the game, and that is definitely a blow. And I want to see how well they can recover and keep their focus going into 3, because they won 1 and 2/3 games of this series, so they clearly got it. But can they not get tilted by the loss there and stay level-headed going into 4?
So I think we need to give some Shadow a few minutes here to get set up for game number 4. And we will be taking a little bit of break here because I'll be out of water. I am thirsty. And I'm thirsty for more kills.
We will be back in a few minutes.
And we are back, just like the comeback from Mundolicious in game number 3. We have headed into game number 4. This is the pick and ban. Should be already up on the screen. Hopefully y'all can see it at home. TCU Phoenix, what are you liking? What are you not liking?
So, aggressive enchanters, I like the route. After a frustrating comeback loss, it is always a question of, can you pick yourself up, keep a clear head going into the next game, and move ahead? And I like their draft here. They picked the Yorick, which Volcron is very good on. It's a very strong laner, good split pusher. They picked the Veigar, did very well for them in the previous game, did very well for them in one. Very solid pick, safe scaling, obliterates carries and teams. Lucian Yuumi, we haven't seen them play it, but it's a solid lane. And they picked Olaf again. Interestingly, the Warwick wasn't banned, but they do elect to go with the Olaf. Is a very strong early jungler, good at taking early objectives, jungler likes to do. So they've got a good, strong early game from the Olaf, strong late game from the Veigar, and the Yuumi and Yorick. But Mundolicious have the misfortune of it. And that is, one, we've seen how powerful Misfortune's been in the series. Both teams that have had Misfortune previously won. And Misfortune Leona is just a huge combo. It's so much early damage, so much kill threat. Especially when Yuumi is not a very good for healing. She's great at enabling engages, and enabling bruisers like Olaf and Yorick, but she's not that great at peeling for an ADC. And so if Lucian does get caught by the Leona route, not Eclipse, that's her W, I don't remember what it's called. Zenith Blade, that's what it's called. They're in trouble. Vel'Koz's mid, safe pick. I think the Kled is interesting. I actually played Kled versus Yorick earlier today, and it kind of plays out like Kled does against all Juggernauts, which is that Kled beats them in the early. Kled at level 3 is probably one of the strongest top laners in the game, and if you're up against Darius or a Renekton or an Alawi or a Mordekaiser, the question of do you have kill pressure is, are you level 3? And if you are level 3, congratulations, you have kill pressure. The anti-heal, the damage, the stickiness, all of that makes him really good, but Kled also loses to Juggernauts by mid-game. By about level 10 or 11, Kled, despite being auto-attack based, kind of a bursty champ. He's very cooldown dependent around his W, final tendencies, and after about level 10 or 11, a Juggernaut will get tanky enough that your combo doesn't kill them. And at that point, they have enough sustained damage to dismount you and then chase you down. Kled is really good against squishies that can't escape from him and can't survive him, and against burst champs who have to expend all their cooldowns on Scarl, and then he just rebounds. But a sustained damage champ like Yorick, as long as he doesn't die to the full rotation, he'll just call the Maiden and then run him down. So I think that Mundolicious are kind of banking on their early lead, because I don't know if the scaling's on their side. Vel'Koz is a good late game.
But doesn't scale like the little tiny Yordle that can.
But doesn't scale as well as Veigar, and you've got Kled, an early game bully who falls off late game because Kled's damage is single target and very body blockable. Both the Bear Trap on the Rope and the Jousting Mark will latch onto the first champion they hit, regardless of who. So having a tank frontline can prevent Kled from sticking into your carries. You've got Trundle, strong early jungler, falls off late, tanky, but he's either does damage and isn't tanky, or he's tanky and doesn't do damage, and in either case, he has very limited CC. And Misfortune, who is very vulnerable to getting caged and ulted by the Veigar. So I like Mundolicious's draft if they can successfully execute the early game pressure. If they can win and get enough of a lead by like 15 minutes, they're going to be all right. But if it gets to 15 minutes and they're behind, or it's like 2-2 and a 500 gold lead to Mundolicious, that's not enough. So I think the pressure is on them to execute here, and Aggressive Enchanters just has to weather.
Okay. that is the analysis paralysis that is pick bands. Let's get an actual game and see this action-paction. Oh, that was terrible. It's been a long, very long day, guys. Okay, and gals, and dogs, and cats, fish, ferrets, anything. Shadow, you better start the game because I'm just gonna keep naming animals.
Cled's basically a hillbilly hamster. So
hillbilly hamster. Okay, so ganks, level 1, invades, successful once, not successful the other time.
Can we hover over Hyares? I want to see what he took. Or if he's taking a skill.
He took a biscuit.
No, I was wondering in terms of okay, he hasn't leveled an ability yet. Okay.
And then Shadow. Yep, there we go.
There we go.
In the bush.
So it's Glacial Vel'Koz. All right, they're not spotted. They do the 5-point, but Lucian is too slow to. Oh wait, does Lucian walk around the corner? He does not walk around the corner. Wait, they're walking back. They've seen him.
One auto. That's it.
She throws the E.
Zenith Blade.
I feel like at that point you'd have been better off. I guess it doesn't matter. Into this lane, you're not really going to go aggressive to level 2 anyways. So, looking at Keystones, Conqueror on both top laners, Conqueror and the Yorick, that makes sense. Both mid laners are going Glacial, the more utility build. Guardian again on Hyares' Leona. Leona's a really good Aftershock user, but he seems to really like the Guardian, and it's good against poke, so it may just be a personal preference thing. I think the press the attack on Trundle is interesting. It's not Conquer, but I think if he wants to go a tank Trundle build, it might be good, because notably, press the attack's damage amp doesn't depend on how much damage you actually do. So for a while there was a trend of Leona taking press the attack because she could proc it really effectively with the Q auto reset. And so if he wants to go tanky, he can just auto someone 3 times, apply the press the attack debuff, and then his damage dealers do the damage. And
his Q also works with the press the attack.
Exactly, yeah. So like pillar, auto, Q auto. Greedy's getting pushed around by the love tap damage here. Has to drink his potion. Yuumi does not have zoomies yet, so he can't heal him. Let's see, Volcron looks like he didn't hit the morning mist there. There is a gank coming top side. Oh, Hyares.
With level 2, puts himself in the cage, so he has to go walk around. Flashes up.
Forced to flash. There's the red buffs on him. This should be a kill on him. He doesn't have it. Yeah, there's
a trap on a rope. And whoop! It's like he literally popped his head off with a little pulse. Like pop.
That's like, to me, Cled's Q is one of those examples of sometimes Riot is like really inventive with abilities or really fun. Like Yumi's heal called Zoomies. That's great. And sometimes they're just like, here's what the skill is. And it's a bear trap on a rope.
But that's kind of like what Kled is, right? His ultimate is charge, and it's charge.
With like 6 A's. Charge! No prisoners! It's great fun. Unless you can't stop the Cledl once you start it, and you can't change its direction. So I've definitely ulted into fights where I'm like, oh, I'm just dead now.
Oh, and there's the level 3 or level 4. Said, Kled kills Juggernauts at level 3. Well, how about level 4?
Yeah, this should be, yep, there's the yank. Because Kled's first dash can't cross walls and adjusting, but the second can. So if he hits Yorick with the first dash, Yorick's going to put up the wall. Processional of the Damned, I think? To avoid...
Oh, this is going to be a dead Trundle.
Yeah. Greedy is hiding under tower. Yumi's out of mana, so... Hyares and Oya Polina are definitely controlling this lane. Okay, they have burned both of Leona's summoners. I guess. Boop!
Oh my gosh.
That is unfortunate. And that's just a case of it feels bad, but you have to leave. When you're that low, you have to leave. And I sometimes wish that some people could get experience playing against old Pantheon, because I feel like that was the best lesson, the best teacher of just leave in the game. Because for those who, if you didn't play with old Pantheon, his Q, the spear, stab / throw, used to be point and click. But like now, it did bonus damage to people at low health. And so essentially, if you were below about 25% health or 30, he would just stun you, fully channel the I think it was still called Aegis Assault at the time. No, it was Heartseeker Strike at the time, and then he would hit you with the Spear Toss and you would die. And so very quickly you learned that if you were at a certain point, you just had to leave lane, surrender the farm, because otherwise you're going to die. And sometimes I think that was when where Greedy needed to just accept that he needed to leave lane. He needed to give up the farm, because as a result, Misfortune gets a kill. So Misfortune has come back with a BF sword. Lucian's only come back with a long sword dagger, so he's not going to be able to fight her at any point in the near future. Not without a good gank from Olaf.
Yeah, well, Olaf has been roaming around, and it looks Trundle, first dragon of the game, at 6. These, you mentioned at the very beginning of the night the impact of the early jungle control. Mm-hmm. And the team that's gotten the first dragon has actually won every game.
Well, that speaks well for Mundolicious here. I'm curious as to what kind of soul it will be, because I think that... So we had 2 Infernal Souls, and it can't be one of those. Can we pan to the...
It's a mountain.
It's a mountain is next. So it could be an air drag next, or it could be a water. I actually don't know. Both teams... I feel like both teams would get good benefit from either. Both teams have just like sustain-based champs that really want. Oh, he just ticks up to.
Oh, he dead.
I think he either ate a biscuit or his Q killed a target. Vel'Koz's Q refunds 50% of its mana cost if it kills a target, and that gave him just enough mana.
Pops the barrier. Flash.
It just makes it out without using the flash.
That's yeah.
Yep. Regenerates just enough mana to kill the Olaf.
Okay. Would you need Tiamat on Kled? I mean, he went for the phage to try and kill the ghouls quicker when they get the wide attack you.
Tiamat
is preference.
Tiamat is, in my experience, it's matchup dependent. So Tiamat is a core item on Kled, specifically Titanic Hydra, because since it accounts for Skarl's health, Kled is one of the best Titanic users in the game. He actually has the highest base health while mounted of any champ at level 18 at about 3,000. So he gets a lot of damage from Titanic, and Tiamat really helps his wave clear, kind of like Fiora. He's very auto attack based, doesn't have much AoE damage, but against a tankier target like a Juggernaut, it can be worth it to do the phage first. If I'm going up against a hard tank, something that I know is going to rush armor like a Scion or a Malphite, I go for the Black Reaver first, because if you have Tiamat and phage and they have Sunfire, they win. And you can go the Tiamat later if you need to. It feels great early on, but I think here it's a good choice because Cleaver's a great item on Kled. It's one of his cores, and I wouldn't be surprised to see York Russia.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you as the Olaf's going to come in here and try and get onto Leona. Best of body block. You can't prevent that Olaf from going any further because he's unstoppable there. But
unstoppable, by the way.
Yeah, unstoppable means that Trundle was able to pick up Shelly in top lane and chase Veigar into the red buff. Go to the bot lane. No worries about top lane.
Yeah, what's Veigar doing there?
Running away from the mid laner and pops the exhaust blast, coning away. Nope, Pillar's going to happen. This Fortress is going to walk in here. There's Veigar ultimate.
Good channel, but not enough.
Off and tries to layer on top. Misfortune will finish off the Veigar there. As the cage finish off, it looks like we're trying to get the knockup. Does finish up, and Yumi's going to come back through with the Olaf. There's one axe. No! Oh my gosh! Yolo Polina, please stop! It's the finals. We all want to have fun.
The Vel'Koz Plasma Fission and the Q, or Plasma Bolt or Plasma Fission, gets them both low enough that he double ups off of the Olaf into the Lucian. Quick double kill, and Yumi's forced to run for the hills. I will say, Stud Nugget did a really good job surviving there. He uses the Blast Cone effectively, gets a lot of damage off, but is eventually brought down.
Okay, so where does this Trundle take the Shelly?
I would say top lane. Your bot lane is already winning, or mid. Either unlock the mid or go top lane. Your bot lane's already winning, and they're positioned to continue winning. So you want them to just stay in lane as long as possible, so they can keep trying to get kills. I would use it either mid because that would deny Veigar the safety of having a tower to farm under, or top because.
Well, Leona's body blocking here to allow Trundle to get a pillar to come up. As Trundle's is going to tank the whole thing. Nope, Iris is actually taking flash. Misfortune got yet another kill, so we have a 5-0-0-7 yes, Misfortune at 11 minutes.
Already
and
has.
I think the Rift Herald's going to be dropped down here. Trundle, I think, probably just drops it, hands it over, and then that sets you up for a extremely nice dragon. As Bear Trap and a rope, and the thing is going to make him fight. We'll see if Kled's going to ult in under tower.
Yep.
Nope, just straight up kills the Yorick. And here comes Shelly.
He does use the ult there to chase.
Misfortune ult. Olaf got nowhere to go. Vel'Koz ult says, "Hi, minion."
Yeah, he's like, okay, if I walk down, I walk into the Leona and get stunned. If I walk up, I die to the Misfortune ult, so...
Oh, Veigar's going to just get eaten by the Trundle, and it looks like Golden Sun for the sets on the Yordle there, as they're going to finish off this tower. First brick's going to go over to Mundolicious, and 11-3 in kills, as they're going to now charge onto the Lucian, who stayed just a little bit too long.
I think Trundle tried to ult there, but I don't think it went off. Yeah, they see the Misfortune, they're like, oh, run the other way.
Yeah,
like
when
that
you have an Essence Reaver to just like, the Carfield's Warhammer and Bam stuff.
You remember that scene in Star Wars A New Hope where Han and Chewie go charging down the corridor, and they run to the Stormtroopers and just start running back the other way? That was what was happening there. They were like, chase the Trundle, chase the Trundle, it's Misfortune, yeah, so they do use a bot. I would like. All right.
Well, that's a great barrier.
Good barrier.
Ooh,
good.
And an excellent Zonia's.
Trying to buy time. He's got reinforcements here.
Leona and Trundle are here as to try to run, but Olaf's going to become unstoppable, and he's going to just throw axes to take out this giant space.
And the Yumi saves the Veigar. So very well played by both mid laners. Kazoo does a really good job of stalling as long as possible to allow reinforcements to get there. But then Autumn Gamer gets there in time to save the Veigar, and Olaf's there to just run down the Vel'Koz and confirm that kill. Let's see, so you have a 7-0 Misfortune.
You have a 3-0-0 Kled.
Yep, who's now started on the Tiamat. That's what the read is.
Nice pillar!
Very good pillar.
I was about to say, the jungle has done a fairly good job. The 0-2 and 4 Trundle has gotten all the neutral objectives.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see.
Misfortune gets stuck in the cage with the Yumi ult, and it's gonna. That's just 4 versus 1.
That's 1,000 gold. I think it would have been maybe a little better to put on Lucian or Veigar. Veigar so it accelerates his scaling. Lucian because he really needs the money. But it's 1,000 gold onto Olaf, which isn't bad. That will get him a lot of the way towards his Black Cleaver. I'm curious to see what jungle lane the Trundle goes. Olaf has already gotten his warrior, so a lot of early damage, good CDR and damage spike. In my experience with Trundle, I'd like to see him go the Cinderhulk here. It combos well with Hydra if he chooses to go Titanic. And Warrior Trundle is very squishy. I've seen it in my games. I've seen it. You don't really see it in pro play, but Trundle with Warrior is just not naturally tanky enough to really frontline, especially without a really good tank to siphon stats off of.
That's
and there isn't.
You need
yeah, I mean you've got Olaf's got like 200 health.
But you have to Olaf before Olaf ults, because Olaf's stats actually go down during the ultimate.
Oh, true. You're right. Yes, because he gains bonus AD, but loses the. This should be
Armor and magic resist.
Yes, and gains attack damage.
Yep.
That was not a good use of the ult. You gotta dismount him and then wait.
Yeah.
He's trying
throws the little kitty cats. No chasing.
That was really good
Olaf
play.
unstoppable. Oh, this is just easy. Oh no, he missed one axe. He's not gonna hit the
guided.
second one. Oh no, the Vel'Koz ult, the bird.
He lives.
Ticks away, ticks. Misfortune up top, ganking with Trundle onto the Vigor, the York, running around top lane. As we take down towers, next dragon's in a minute 40. Hey, we're gonna have more ocean.
So it's currently a 3,500 gold lead for Mundolicious. Teleport coming in from the Vhagar. Which dragon? It is Ocean Soul. They probably should look to reset pretty soon to prep for drag. I don't know if Vel'Koz has enough gold for his Super Soaker yet, but they should be looking to make sure he has that by the time the dragon fight goes off.
He already has it.
Not Vhagar, Vel'Koz.
Oh, Vel'Koz.
Yeah, he's got the Lost Chapter. Well, I don't know. He's got a Lost Chapter and an Adaptive and an Amp Tome.
Yeah, I don't know.
He could be going for early Zhonya's. One thing I like about Vel'Koz is that he has a lot of inherent damage from his true damage. So he doesn't need a lot of pen early. He does have the Frost Cannon now. Yeah. But he's also very mana efficient. So he can get by with just Lost Chapter. His wave clear is really good, so he doesn't need full loot. Some mages, like Lux, really need Ludens to be able to wave clear. But Vel'Koz doesn't, so he can afford to go Lost Chapter into a defense item like Zhonya's, if he needs it to survive.
As we do have the Yuumi ult coming out, and Misfortune counters instead, and that deals a lot more damage than Yuumi's stun. And his Hyaris is just going to auto-attack Vigor because the cage was already used to try and take
Hyaris picks up a kill himself.
Noodle in the top lane is there's just more fighting as Lucian. You don't want to dash into that, my friend. Oh, baby cage? No, little cage. It's the kitty cage, right? Because Vigor's cage is the baby cage, right? So
yeah.
That you can put in the other cage. As we now have Kazu's going to hide in the dragon bush.
That is a great place to drop control wards for anyone who's jungler who's watching. People often do not check that bush. So if you have an Ocean Soul, put a control ward in that bush because it will go on.
Right in, Kled's going to go in. He's going to get dismounted. Let's see if he gets enough
probably
damage.
Dead here. Nope.
He's going to jump over the wall. Vigor with the ultimate finish off. Double up, not going to finish off Greedy as the heal's going to come on through.
And the slow from the Olaf Undertow.
Taking out towers. Trundle took out the mid lane tier 1 sometime during that time as well. Trundle's like, nope, I'm going to fight this. No one on my team is here, but let's go for it.
This feels like a bit much, AJ.
Yeah, well, Vigor died in mid lane, so both teams had a person that decided that they thought a 1v4 was a good idea.
They're like, all right, your turn. Like, Aggressive Enchanters was like, Stud Nugget, check your PayPal. And then Mundolicious was like, Stud Nugget, check your PayPal. And then Aggressive Enchanters was like, all right, AJ, check your PayPal.
Kled ultimate, I think, up the top lane after the teleport does get in onto the, the giant man, the kitty cats, and that's going to be a dead York.
That's a snap.
Bullet time comes across. That's going to take down a lot of minions, deal a lot of damage to a lot of champions. By champions, I mean one, Olaf, because technically Yuumi doesn't get dealt damage when she's attached, right?
No, she's untargetable.
She's untargetable, so she just gets to watch her fellow champions get dealt damage.
Yeah, she's untargetable to everything except towers. Towers do see her and will attack her and can attack her.
Well, that's a tier 2 in mid lane down, tier 1 in top lane down as they are.
Oh, Stud Nugget has left the game. I'm going to assume that's a disconnect, and maybe we're going to get a pause coming out here.
I think it may be a spectator bug. Goes right in onto Ocean as going over, and this is just taking the slight, barely path. Oh, no.
you turn a corner, and there's just like a bunch of dudes who are like, hey.
Can Steve get remounted? Nope, he
Ah.
dies.
Like, Lucian just came around a corner, and Leona's like, hey, wallet and watch, buddy.
It's like when you go into the wrong neighborhood as a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing your parents told you to warn you about. Just
Yeah.
like Trundle did right there.
Or it's like when you go into too high of a level zone as a new player, and all the mobs are like, heh, 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 heh.
Yeah, you made the wrong turn. Somehow you,
It's like the first time I fought a giant in Skyrim, I'm like, alright, I've killed dragons, I've killed big stuff. Dude can't be that tough, right? The Womp. Oh, I'm dead in one hit. That's good.
So
Alright.
I have been informed that pauses are actually skipped over in replays.
Huh.
So there was a pause sometime in there.
Okay.
That's fine. But glad I guess we got to skip through that if it was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Look at the game state.
Yeah.
It's about 5,000 gold, 5,500 in favor of Mundolicious. So they're doing what they need to do. Their Misfortune, very fed, 2 items. Their Kled, fed. Their Vel'Koz, fed. They're all doing what they need to do. But I wouldn't call the game in their favor yet. Lucian is behind.
Although Lucian nearly does die. Okay,
The
dies
very
to,
end
like,
of the laser.
Yeah, oof.
Because Vel'Koz is still in it. And Yorick has completed his Triforce. He's going to get tankier after this. He will outscale the Kled in the 1v1 in the side lane. So they're not. Yes, it will take some time. Though they won't have very much time if Mundolicious gets this Baron. There's no wards. I don't even
was
think.
just seen at Dragon killing pink wards.
Yeah,
so.
they get this for free. I suspect this is one case where a lot of people don't expect the 20-minute Baron because they're used to Baron being a late game objective. But when you're this fed,
especially when you have Leona sitting in mid lane and Dragon spawning in 50 seconds.
for those who watch LCS, if you didn't see it, I recommend you watch the VOD of the Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses game from earlier today because it features a tremendous play around Baron, in which Evil Geniuses Tom ulted one of their players.
Well,
into
Yuumi Olaf are going to go into the back line.
Chasing down Misfortune, but they can't catch
not
up
going
to
to
it.
happen. Bolt time actually is going to just absolutely shred through the Vigors. There's one exhaust. Vel'Koz ult comes off on the other end. We're going to flash in when Olaf, you got no more anti-CC, my friend. You were going to drop down. Yumi's like, I'm going to ditch this right. Nope, never mind. Getting back on so I can die yet again. Somehow Kled took Lucian off on the side because he charged in the back line. Now he's going to go in onto the Vigor, and that's going to be stunned in the baby cage. He's going to try and knock off Skarl and send him to the Shadow Realm or wherever Skarl goes when he's no longer being ridden like Yoshi, as they take him down the mid tower and the mid inhibitor.
So I don't know. Yeah, that was just the aggressive enchanters.
Vel'Koz is getting dragon number.
All right, that makes about as much sense. Aggressive enchanters think they have a really good pick there. They have the Olaf coming in with Unstoppable. They have the Yuumi ult. You know, he can't be peeled. They're gonna run down the Fortune. But I think he misses one of the undertows.
Yeah,
and
he misses the undertow, and then Vigor misses the cage because Misfortune's able to slip
to
out.
run out. Yeah, and the Yuumi ult is heading straight up, whereas Misfortune heads more to the left, and so they don't manage to actually confirm the route.
Well, they catch him right as they come in. That's one thing is Vel'Koz going to throw.
That is a big shutdown to Vel'Koz.
And they're going to probably get onto the... Oh no, Skarl is back! Oh! He takes that one down as now Trundle turns to throw stuff around, and Vigor, Misfortune, Bullet Time, Olaf in the fight! And now it's Kled's time to jump down, and we got 2v2. We got Kled and Skarl versus Lucian and Yuumi. We have Man with Guns versus Old Yordle with a stick. And
he's got a gun.
Versus Dinosaur is... Oh, well, you went right into the Misfortune.
That's just a cleanup.
And Double Ocean, and the one being the soul means they're getting regen.
They're full health already.
They still have Baron right now.
All they need to do is hit a few minions, and they're good to go.
Someone go get the minions, because Baron does give minions movement speed.
Yes, and cause them to take reduced damage, particularly from AoE magic abilities.
So let them fire this. Oh, well, Polina.
Oh, but it has to burn the ult, and
Lucian and some autos. They're trying to body block. Here comes Olaf. Pops the ult really early. Axe does get
Undertow's off, but he picks it up.
But Vel'Koz and Kled just comes back and
too much damage.
He gets through, and Vel'Koz ult burns through and burns off on the side. Here's Lucius trying to lay down much damage, but it looks like Kled is going to be able to dance this round into the background, lay down some auto attacks. Parachoco, they'll pull back and forth, and it looks like going to be double kills. So the Misfortune Kled's going to take out the Lucian, as well as everything is just dropping down right now, and towers are going to be falling. This is going to be game 4 over the side of Mundolicious, and they are going to be your Demacia Season 2 champions. Congratulations, guys.
Yep.
Bravo.
They're going in for the Volcron kill, which they do pick up at the cost of 3 people, but they do win. So congratulations to Mundolicious. They had one game. The first game went to aggressive advantage, but I think game 3 was very much comeback. But I think their other 2 wins were very, very convincing wins. Oya Polina is just a really, really good ADC, and their ability to play around Oya Polina and prevent aggressive enchanters from getting onto him and getting the kill turns the team fight time after time. Also, a funny bit of trivia. I don't know if it's still in the game, but Skarl used to actually stay on the map when dismounted. If you Skarl will run towards a nearby brush, and if you sweep the brush, it used to reveal Skarl's outline.
Okay, well that is a ridiculous fact that I didn't need to know. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
So just overall run through the series. What did you think? Like, that was a pretty good
That
series.
was a good series, yeah. I think aside from game 2 was just like a kind of a crazy snowball, but all the other games, good plays on both sides. I think good choices in draft, good knowledge of their comfort picks, how their champions work together, and then just playing around their win conditions of heal Oya Polina, allow Kazoo to just deal AoE damage, because he's just doing tons and tons of damage in all these fights, on the Swain, on the Vel'Koz, and then, you've got AJT, you've got Stevo, and you've got Hierarchs just being the front line. All they have to do is go in, apply CC, and absorb, and their back line will do all the, and that's the most basic form of front-to-back team fighting there is. But as you see here, it's really good. I don't want to say it's a one-trick strategy, but it's a straightforward strategy. But the trick it has, it's a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, it was got together pretty good different things. You get to see a lot of different picks coming out, and the adaptations, like you said in the draft, I liked coming across the teams, trying to figure out what was working and not working, and adjusting their forwards with the different game plans. So I don't have anything else because it's been an extremely long day for me.
Yeah, it's been a long day for everyone, I think. So to everyone out there, thank you for watching. We will be back sometime in the next few days. We do have more finals to cast. These will be more vodcasts of the Noxus and Piltover divisions, I believe. So look forward to that. Those ought to be fun. And in the meantime, wash your hands, stay safe.
Yeah. Also, tomorrow we'll be starting the Sunday ARAM off-season stuff, so look out for that. I want to say noon Eastern tomorrow, but if work calls me in, it's really hard for me to run stuff while running pharmacy. So it may be tomorrow night, unless we're doing more vodcasts, at which point we'll push it off to later in the week. As you said, other finals are coming up, so look out for that. Later this week, we will also be having Rules channel open up to talk about rules for Season 3. Ansem has already got the website up and running for Season 3 signups, so you can go ahead and start up with that. Message, DM your division ref if you got first or second place in your division, so we can get the lineup set up for prizes handed out. That also means be ready to receive prizes this week and into the next few weeks here, as Fuzel dealing with his job, hasn't been able to get time to properly get set up to hand out the prizes yet. So they will be coming this month if you chose the RP or whatever prize you want in that aspect. And I think I have covered all of the business side of things, other than subscribe and like, comment, and those type of things. Those get hit over to the YouTubes. If you have a highlight you want to see, particularly in a highlight reel, make sure you clip it and DM it to, or DM at least the timestamp to Shadow or myself or your division ref, so we can then put it for editors to get put in, so we can make a highlight for season 2 playoffs. I think I got everything. Shadow, did I miss anything? Shadow approves. I didn't miss anything. Yay! Okay, thanks TTU Phoenix.
No problem. Catch you later.
Yeah, we'll have a good night, everyone.